still in the waiting. Movement is deciding. Forward is the doing. Keep going.
Hiya, this is the kit with Keep Going. We're now into June 2021 and it's the second episode of the podcast, absolutely firing through them now. I had to crop out the name of the cemetery that me and Laura were sitting and walking about in, just to make an attempt at reducing the likelihood of her getting a stalker. Overall, I think the audio quality in the second episode is a wee bit better. I've done a wee bit of investing, but there is still some issues, and the major issue was that me and Laura talked for so long that her mic couldn't take it anymore, and around the 2 hour mark it died, so I've had to try and do a bit of patching up. So you will notice that the audio quality will change, but I thought it would be better if you still got to listen in to the conversation or what could be saved of the conversation. Unfortunately, the part of the conversation that was completely inaudible was the part where Laura was talking about being in a house fire, and it sounds as if I'm being a bit insensitive, as if I'm just kind of fading out as she's giving me the details of the house fire, like aye, whatever hen. But it was just that the audio just wasn't usable, unfortunately. Also, we've had to bleep out somebody's name because it's the subject that we're discussing, so we didn't think it was fair to include anybody else without permission, so there is a wee bleep name in this episode. It was quite difficult to edit the end of the podcast because me and Laura spent about 20 minutes saying cheerio over and over again and then immediately starting to talk about something else. So that just kind of fades out as well at the end. Anyway, here's episode 2 of the podcast, hope you enjoy it. It's a walk and a sit down and a cup of tea in a cemetery in Edinburgh with Laura. Enjoy. I'm having to keep my voice down because I'm standing in the middle of a field, but it's too bloody busy. Everybody's decided to be busy again. So I'm going to do episode 2 of the podcast with Laura, who says via text that she's just done a meditation. Bit boastful, isn't it? Couldn't have been that deep a meditation if she should write on the phone to text everybody that she's done one. Obviously I'll say that to her. Actually I might. There's a clown in this park. There's an actual clown in this park. There's a guy dressed as a clown. He's juggling. No worries.
Guarda, noi i primi anni qua è stato così, adesso si è calmata un po' la questione.
I'm looking right at him so you can't see me. I didn't realise I was so hidden. I'm good. You brought tea?
I do, I brought tea.
Excellent, because that means I might get a second chance to urinate on Edinburgh before I leave.
Yeah, that's the best thing for it, to be honest. So Water of Leith, which is lovely, but just like quite a lot of cyclists and joggers.
It's quite, I did walk down that way, it's quite busy. And they don't say thank you, they cyclists. They ding and they don't say thank you.
I don't say thank you anymore.
No, just too much.
Well, it depends. If someone makes an effort and moves,
What you want,
Like
they
ahead
put
of
their
time?
coat down in front of you or something.
like a little bit of manners, you know. Then I'll be like, oh, thanks very much. But a lot of the time you have to bing because people are like couples holding hands. Right, what do I do?
Just put it
Put it
on,
on?
put it close to
Okay.
your mouth hole.
My mouth full. Hi.
Hit the red button when it starts.
Hello.
Have you eaten after work?
I had a wee like energy bar thing.
A
Like a
protein
wee.
thing?
Well, it's like a kind of naked bar, but the Lidl version.
Right.
Like just basically just dates.
Oh, right, okay.
You know,
okay.
you know the
okay.
type.
Right. I can't understand why the protein bars are so expensive. It's like £2 for a Mars bar
Oh
size
no, I
thing.
didn't get one of them.
What can possibly be in them?
They're delicious though. Sometimes if I'm getting some from like Decathlon or whatever, I'll just be like, oh, give me one of the peanut
If I'm
chocolatey
being a
guys.
Decathlon, is that what you said?
From if I'm getting an order or something from Decathlon.
Oh, right. I thought you said if you were dating a Decathlon.
No, if I'm if I'm doing a Decathlon, sometimes I'll have a little protein bar as a treat. Apparently there's a deer in there.
One?
Well, I've seen it. Just one deer. Seen it from my living room window. But every time I go in, I'm looking for it, and I haven't seen it. And I'm like, oh, it's gone now. And then someone in like the local Facebook group thing will post, oh, the deer's, he's there, or
Is
she.
it young? Do they know?
I look small. I don't really know enough about deer to tell you.
There's like a whole family at the park that's in the rubbish area in Glasgow that I'm fair. There's like 2 whole families of deer living in there. It's full of litter, burnt out shopping trolleys, and 2 beautiful family of deer.
They used to occasionally run to my school, like in Clybank. They used to run in, and the Jannies were always like, oh, don't chase them, you give it a haircut, give it a heart attack, give it a haircut. Could tell,
Eccentric Janny.
could tell I get a bit distracted when I walk past people. Oh my god, what side of the pavement do I walk on? So,
I
yeah.
mind I sold, when I was staying at D's, sold some computer games to a guy up here just round the corner on the right hand side, and I took the thing, I said I would bring them round for him because I was just there, and I gave him them, he gave me the money, and he shut his door, and that was it. Like no words were
Really?
spoken.
What,
It
one of the
was
nice
really weird.
houses?
Well, like a wee like avenue that's round there.
Oh, okay.
Nice to me.
Did you
It was
get?
really strange.
Because you were up Cannon Mills way before, weren't you?
Yep,
I forget
yep.
you used to live in Edinburgh.
Also went for a date with an Italian lassie.
Oh.
It was like 20 seconds away for the flat that
Oh,
we
really?
used to live in, so it was kind of weird because we walked around that area
Ah,
for
that would be so
the date. It was
weird.
weird.
They were like, listen, it's not you, it's your flat. Oh, here's a sign saying, see, that's proof.
How big is this?
It's pretty, it's alright, we won't walk
It
round.
must come in. I don't know, surely it can't be here all the time.
I mean, also, the only way it would have come in would have been via main road. So, or getting the bus off.
Aye.
It's been alright. There's things I like about working from home.
That's what I want when I die.
That's
A big-
Put you in a
Big
big
container.
shipping cart, put you out to sea.
I think I've only got like 1-word prompts that I made to talk to you.
Oh, you've done some.
No, really. No,
Done some
I
prep?
just wrote down words.
Okay. Well, my chat is out of practice, so we'll see how
Is
we
it?
get on. Oh man.
I thought you
feel
were
like I've
quite
been-
social all the time, even with the lockdown stuff.
But I was starting at a high point,
Right.
and now, you know,
And you've got a
don't
flatmate,
do much.
haven't you? Have
Yeah,
you got a flatmate?
which you've got a flatmate.
No.
Oh,
I'm saying,
sorry.
Have you?
Oh, yes, I
have
do.
you still got one?
Yeah. Kate. But that's helpful in its own way. But then you end up just sort of starting your own language. Like we started at some point in lockdown, started like rewatching all of Line of Duty, and then just
What one's Line of Duty?
the police procedural drama.
BBC thing?
Aye,
No, never seen it.
it's quite. I mean, it's fun. It's good. It's
Who's
not
in it?
not
Is
too.
there a star in it?
Well, Martin
Star,
Compson's in it.
God almighty.
Adrian Dunbar, Vicky McClure, they're the main 3.
Okay.
And then every series they have like a celebrity. So like Lenny James, Keely Hawes, Kelly MacDonald was the most recent one, Stephen Graham,
I know who Stephen Graham is.
Tandy Newton. I feel like that's probably all of them. Maybe I think I might be missing one. Anyway.
So what's the issue with rewatching that?
Oh no, it was good. It's just that we ended up getting into the language of it. So yeah, it's good to have a flatmate. But then we just kind of spoke to each other, just being like, "All right, mate, coffee, mate,
okay.
yeah, mate," and just stuff like that. And we there was one point when they announced that they were relaxing some of the regulations, we realised that we weren't even talking in actual words or sentences. We were just kind of like making noises around the flat, like boo, boo, which meant dinner.
Do you eat together as well?
Yeah.
That's very civilised. I barely saw Richie when I stayed with him.
Oh yeah, I do mind being round the flat sometimes and be like, oh, it's Ryan out. Like, no, he's in.
Yeah. I was busy.
Just that you kept strange hours. You're up at like 5 in the morning.
Like around here as well, this is where I first started running. Like
Is
the couch
it?
to 5k thing, so I would get up at like 5 a.m. and run about here when there was nobody else.
I was like, oh, I don't know, I was like, oh, we should go out for a run together. And you're like, yeah, and they just dinged me.
I was busy when I got North Spiral.
Listen,
These
we all
trees
have
look
to.
nice.
Yeah.
Is this for
This is like a monument for like lost babies.
Ah, right, okay.
So yeah, it's nice and it's sad though.
What were we saying? Downward spirals. You had any good ones? Any belters?
Any good downward spirals?
What, smashed off the bottom at any point? What age are you again? You're like 19.
I'm 33.
You're in your 30s?
Aye.
I thought you were still in your 20s.
Oh, thank you.
Fucking hell.
I mean, I feel like I've known you for, I don't know, when did I have met
I
you?
was trying to work that out, how many times we'd actually met up. I don't think it's that many.
Not heaps.
No.
But you've been in the periphery. Let's see, I met Richie in like 2013.
How long was that? 8 years? That's a runabout when I met him.
Aye.
How did you meet?
We worked together at the film festival.
How nice a guy is Richie.
Oh, he's great. I do miss him. Sometimes when I'm down at New Haven, I think,
Nah, I wouldn't go to that for.
but I just kind of think like, oh, I'm sad that he's not a neighbour anymore. That was nice. Especially when he was down in that new flat. You were, yeah, you saw it. That was nice. Downward spirals though?
33, let me see.
Same age as Jesus?
For me, is that when he died?
I think so.
You think so? You're a Catholic?
Oh my god, I don't know. I got something wrong. Right, you know my brother's a
Here
priest.
as well, we're like surrounded by all these.
I know.
You'll
I
have
don't
definitely
think
heard all these aerials you'll have heard.
there's not heaps of Irish names though, so...
33, I was like a year out of boozing. So
Ah.
I'd already had a couple of belters at the bottom. Couple of... Well, that's it. This is it. That's the end of this. Had any of them.
So, in terms of drinking, I mind living in Toronto and having a few.
I mean, like emotional
Risky.
lows.
Well, I guess it's all tied up together. Real lows, probably not for about.
It's awfully close to the graveyard, that set of flats.
I know, it's so close. But like, is it weird? Is it weird to live next to a graveyard? I like it. I'm used to it now.
Probably going to start gentrifying graveyards as well. You'll be able to get a latte.
Great place for
Have you
a
ever had
kombucha.
vegan ice cream?
Yeah.
It's
I used to
terrible.
work in like vegan places in Glasgow.
Was it any good?
Aye, there is one. I think it's Swedish glass, Swedish glacé, Swedish glace.
What is that flavour?
It's just a brand. It's quite good. That was nice. You know, you've always got your sorbets. A sorbet is vegan but doesn't shout about it, you know?
Right, okay. Well, everything I've tried has been absolutely dreadful.
Are you getting on the vegan train?
The lassie I'm seeing,
Oh.
well, she's vegan apart for the cheese, I think. She's vegan cheese apparently doesn't cut the mustard, so
Okay.
she cheats on that.
You shouldn't be cutting mustard with it. You're eating it.
Right, okay, that's the end of it.
Okay.
Give me the mic back.
I'm sorry.
It was the eagerness with which you said it that made it worse.
That's nice. Oh, the last guy I was dating said something along the lines of, if you didn't date any vegan or veggie people, you wouldn't get to date any of the hot girls, and I took that as a
Are you
compliment.
veggie or vegan?
I am largely pescatarian.
Does that mean fish?
Fish, aye. But I do I'll eat like meat very seldomly once in a while if it's good meat.
I mean ethical meat.
Yeah.
She's also very ethical as well.
Oh man, she didn't go out with you.
It's frustrating. What? What was that? What did you say?
Never mind, just
Don't
cut
give me
that.
more doubts. It'll make me nothing right.
Aw, how's it going?
Unexplainably well.
Oh, that's really nice.
Meant to be meeting her sister next week. But I'm still thinking like, well, that's a week away, you know what I mean? She could fucking happen.
That's
She
really
could
sweet.
come to her senses at any second.
How long's it been?
A month? 4 weeks.
Nice. That's fair. Was it an app thing?
Bumble.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's hard to tell, but I don't know if it helped that I'd already had a couple of first dates. So I was already in the kind of groove of, let's just see what happens. So there was no build up or anything.
Yeah. Oh God, that's the best. Because you've just got to normalise it a bit. Because I think people maybe go into it with a bit too nervy, and then it's so hard to come across well or authentically on a first date, I think. Because you're trying to be like, oh, this is all of me, all of the facets to my entire existence, and we have a coffee to try and get this across.
I had a date that lasted like 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
Oh, really?
She literally just asked me question after question after
Oh my
question.
God, what was she
Went to the
asking you?
toilet and just the usual stuff.
What's your
Backgrounds
income?
That was in there
What's
as
your
well. That was obviously
family
important to her.
history?
She had this beautiful black Labrador dog that her ex, who she was obviously still traumatised by the breakup of,
Yeah.
with them. But the way she spoke to this dog was just horrible, like
Bad
constantly
vibes.
putting it down all the time.
Oh no, Labrador, they're good boys.
But everybody was being nice to the dog, and I don't think she liked that. So she
Where
was just,
where did you meet?
Bar in Finniston,
Okay.
Brass Monkey.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, there's a good boy. Is he gonna come and say hi? No. He's got his own thing going on.
There's another one.
Oh, hiya. Hello. Oh,
he's a
scratchy
smiler,
bum.
he's a smiler.
Scratchy bum. Hello. Oh no, I just realised I've got a mic and I'm talking like that. Hello.
Do you know what kind of dog that is?
It is a great dog.
Hi. It's a great dog.
Yeah.
Is that the right breed of that dog? She says it's a great dog. I asked her what breed it was. She says that's a great dog. Is that the right breed? Yeah, that's a great dog.
So I told you. No, my dog breeds. That's a good bench if you want to sit down. I like that bench. It's like a war memorial thing, but
We get a lot of them in Dumbarton. People are very proud of the shooting in Dumbarton.
what shooting did they do in the barn?
No, I mean just general, just
Oh.
army shooting. For the
Yeah,
Queen, you know,
yeah,
shooting
yeah.
people for the Queen.
Oh, like
Aren't you?
they do like the Queen in Dumbarton.
Oh, I'm forgetting you're very close to them.
Yeah, well, I was in Dumbarton for the first 12 years of my life.
Oh, were you? Where were you born?
I was born in Glasgow, but grew up in Dumbarton.
Do you remember it?
Not heaps. Do you want some tea? I've put milk in it though.
Aye, cool. What type of milk do you use?
It's just regular, it's green milk.
Green milk? Green
Like-
cap, you mean?
Aye, green cap.
So you meant like green algae?
No.
I know what greenwashing is. I don't know anything about the news or anything, but I've heard the term greenwashing, so I know what that is now.
Oh yeah. H&M, big for greenwashing.
I was in Primark, they've got that going on as well.
Yeah. But I mean, nobody can surely buy anything from Primark. And do you say Primark or Primark?
It changes.
Just go with the flow.
Primark. Primark more often than Primark. Is there a right one, or does it depend?
I would say Primark.
Primark. Aye, it would be Primark.
I don't know if that's right or not.
Did you grimace there when I said Primark? Is that like the...
No, I
are
just...
they the baddies?
Oh, in terms of like, I mean, nobody can buy stuff from there and then surely think that it's all right for them. But like, getting a t-shirt for £2 or whatever, like, come on, someone is not doing well out of that.
Yeah. I was actually along the same kind of lines when I was in the queue. It was after one of the lockdowns had just ended and the queue was absolutely massive. I was taking something back.
That's a low point. That is a low point.
It didn't
Taking
fit.
something back to
I've lost so
Primark.
much weight.
Have you been back on the running?
No regular, like a couple of times a week. But I hurt my back the other day.
Oh shit.
Too much walking. Lower back. It happens every now and again. Anyway, what was I saying?
So you're taking something back and
Queue
there's a
in
big queue.
Primark. But I was watching one of the... Actually, it was funny because I saw 2 other employees and they kept using the word actually, but they were overusing it like they were taking the piss. And then later on in the queue, I saw like this kind of arty lassie had her like, you know, the kind of chopsticks look with the hair tumbling down.
Alright, aye. Sounds
Kind
hot.
of wind chime kind of looking tattoos and stuff, kind of very free looking.
Very free.
Lassie. But she was using the word actually a lot, so it was turns out it was her that the other two
Oh.
older women were taking the piss out of her. But I was watching what she was doing and she was like, I don't know what the position in the shop was called, but she was like designing, set designing kind of the stuff, organising stuff.
Aye.
And I was thinking like, the type of she seems like a nice person. And,
Yeah.
I mean the type of person she is, but she works in Primark
Yeah. Well,
doing this. You know what
I mean, everyone needs to start somewhere.
it just made me think like all the energy
Heart-
that she's putting into doing that. It'd be good if she didn't have to do that and she could do something else.
Oh my god, is that not the story of everyone's
Capitalism.
life though? Surely. I mean, God, I'd love to be rich and lazy and do my own thing.
You need to be rich
Not
and
lazy.
Why do you need to be rich and lazy?
Well,
Just be lazy.
I want to be able to. Well, I want to be able to like pay rent and stuff.
Do you have a regular practice of meditation, or do you just try it now and again?
I got a Headspace subscription through my work. I've just started kind of getting on it. I think I did it for a bit. I had like, I'm pretty sure it was Headspace or maybe Calm or something. I don't know if Calm is meditation.
I don't know.
But anyway, I think I had like, you get a free month I think, or a free week. And I enjoyed that. But then I started doing yoga with Adrian for a month. And that kind of gave me the same thing because at the end you've got 5 minutes of basically just kind of lying there with your...
How long do you do yoga for?
It can vary. So the yoga with Adrian, there's a month that she does in January, and it will be like anything from 15 minutes up to like an hour every day for 30 days, and it was great. It was really good.
Did you do it every day for 30 days?
More or less. There was maybe like I would miss it one day and then do 2 the next sort of thing sometimes. But I mean, it was nice because one of the things I've enjoyed about lockdown. Sorry, that sounds. One of the things it's been a great time, hasn't it? All in
I've
all.
openly said that it could have been better timed for me, to be honest, because that's part of what was driving me fucking into the run, was the fact that I felt that everything else was moving past me, and I wasn't connected to it, and then everything stopped, and everybody else started to lose it, and I was like,
Oh, I've done this. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right, guys. You'll be fine.
I was already preparing for this anyway.
But one of the weird things that has come out of it is connections with people that live far away. So my friend Eve, who we met when we worked in Toronto together, and now she's currently back in Canada doing work, but she's in LA, and it's just really nice to have a connection with somebody who's like so far away but going through the same thing. And we ended up doing the 30 days of yoga at the same time and like messaging each other like, oh, that was a good one, or oh, wow, I don't know, just making fun of like the different, not making fun of it, but just kind of talking about different things that happened in the practice that day, even though we're 7-8 hours times difference. But we're all also going through the kind of very similar experiences of lockdowns, because LA was in like a real deep lockdown for a few months at the end of last year, start of this year. But I find that really nice, just being able to like connect more. Have you found that at all?
I think it definitely better focuses the importance of connection. I think as well,
Yes.
because you're not having it as often.
Aye.
So
Or even just like wee
it
chats.
makes you reflect on how many times you took it for granted.
Yeah.
Because I went on a camping trip with my parents about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't shut up about it because it was just like it just felt like for the first time. I mean, it kind of felt like a first as well, but definitely the first time in many years where it was like I was there, like we were there together, and we were
Yeah.
all sitting talking until like midnight at the campfire, and it was like, whoa,
Oh, that's really nice.
this is pretty much as good as it gets. Being this present for this long and having that rich connection.
I'm
So
sorry.
aye.
I'm laughing because I went back to my parents at the weekend and I has to ask my mum to put her Kindle away and talk to me.
Oh God. I visit my sisters, and my nieces are just all on phones, and my sisters are on phones, and it's just a nightmare.
And you're like, oh, I'm really glad that we're having this deep connection with one another. I'm glad that I got over my mad anxiety about getting on a train for an hour and a half.
I can see why you would have anxieties, because plenty of people just didn't care.
They don't care. How was it on the way over?
Having said that, there was like, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there was an incident that when I was at Wasaf the other day, where like young folk who weren't respectful of the space, but I didn't realise that she was as cautious as she is, because I'm a bit less cautious.
Yeah.
Just because I don't really see that many people anyway, so
Aye.
but she's got a lot of work going and stuff, and so it would affect a lot of things if she got it, and she also knows people that had it and
Oh,
are still feeling the effects. So.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's like, oh, but you won't die. And it's like, well, okay, so the dying part of it isn't that scary for us, but nobody wants long COVID. And also, like, a lot of people have died. It's really disrespectful to be like, oh, you probably won't die. It's
Apparently
like,
one of my
well,
cousins died.
fuck.
Younger than me, a few years younger than me,
Shit.
but she had underlying health issues apparently.
But even then, it's like, it's really disrespectful to say like, oh, well, they had, underlying, so it's understandable. It's like, yeah, but it'd be better if everyone was okay.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
What
about?
am I talking about?
Don't care about other people. Just get in the train without your mask on. So did you actually told somebody to put a mask on, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said I saw that on your Instagram. Have you done
Yeah.
that before, or was that a first?
I've never been. Well, that's the first time I've been on a train for like over a year, I think, maybe. Or I'd been on like a train to like a really short journey, but that was like the first time. So yeah, like everyone knows that they should be wearing one, so they're just like, oh, okay, I'll put it on. And I also think that I've really developed into, now I'm in my 30s, I've got sort of like school teacher vibe about me. And everyone's like,
Power mad.
hi, okay, missus. Hi, sorry. And it was all teenage boys that I asked.
I thought they were allowed to not have them on. I don't know.
Over 12 you have to.
Is it?
Aye.
Is it? I see.
And this boy was, okay, well, when I say teenage, he must have been about 25 or something, surely. And then the other ones were definitely teenagers. They had like skateboards or longboards or whatever.
That doesn't mean anything. I mean, in their 30s. I've seen people in their 30s with
I just think I've
skateboards.
got a lot of pals in their 30s with skateboards. Do you climb?
No.
Big
Scared of
place for
heights.
climbers.
Aye.
Boulders.
Have a wee chat to them every now and again.
Oh, do you?
Not hanging about.
Hanging a bit. Oh, nice.
No, I'm scared of heights. How can I do it?
Occasionally been to, there's like a couple of climbing places around Edinburgh, the Alien Rock places. Been to a couple of them before.
You're outdoorsy, aren't you? The outdoorsy things.
Oh, that's an
Go
indoor
in the
one.
sea and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've been doing that. Yeah.
You don't do climbing outdoors or just indoor stuff?
No, I'm not that strong. I need to work on my upper body.
So did that end well then, that thing with that guy? Was that like a mutual thing, or
Oh yeah.
was it a
Oh,
train
it's
wreck?
the wee.
You got a smile on your face, so it couldn't have been a train wreck.
No, we're still pals. He just moved to Glasgow. I'm sure he won't mind me talking about him.
You don't need to mention his name.
I won't mention his name.
Okay. What's his name? For
What?
work or something they moved away? For work?
It's complicated. Like, he was thinking of leaving Edinburgh anyway.
Like him?
Break up. Had a breakup at the end, the start of last year, and then was like, oh, I'm going to leave. And then, I think it just needs a new start or wants a fresh start sort of thing.
Same age as you?
No, he's 26.
Needs a fresh start.
Filthy.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, cool. No, he's really nice. It actually surprised me just like how mature he was, and he's very good sense of self, and yeah, really lovely guy. It's just we're obviously different parts of our lives, but we're definitely stay pals. Right.
26. What? How much in age? I'm starting 7 years.
Mhm.
That's pushing it. That's pushing it, Laura.
Well, hey.
If you were in 5th year at school, he'd be what? Primary 5 or something. Primary 4.
Don't-
That's not right.
It's not right. I try to not think about stuff like that.
So what do you mean by good sense of self then? How did that come across? Is that something he practices or
I don't
something
know.
he did and how he lived that gave him that? Or
I guess he's just got a kind of strong sense of identity in a way that I realised that because I've dated, I've been dating for a while. I've not been in like a relationship, I would say. Well, I've been things, but I've not been in like a
long-term
relationship.
thing?
Yeah, since 2018, I think. So
how long was long term for you?
I've probably tapped out about 2 years, probably.
That's not like I mean it will still be like hard and stuff. We break up after 2 years, but it's not like when you have a long one and then you break
aye.
away. It's like
I've-
it's kind of like it's like the Titanic cracking into.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never had that that thing of like having to, move out of someone's house or anything. I've never moved in with anyone. When I move out of Kate's, it's going to be a nightmare. Been there for like 6 years. That'll be hard. That'll be a hard day.
You've no plans, do you? Have you?
No plan. Well, I was maybe thinking about moving to Glasgow, becoming a gentrifier in the south side or East End or something.
It's really, it's Shawlands that she lives in, and it's really, really nice. It's really trendy.
Oh my
and
god, it's so nice. I can't afford that though, so I'm going to go to Govan.
She was alright. She actually got quite lucky by getting the place. What was I talking about?
When though?
Huh?
When? She died? Yeah.
A month ago.
What?
She's just
All
moved in.
right.
She's getting
Nice.
her kitchen done next week. Next couple of weeks. What
Yeah,
were we talking about?
Big break. So
Self.
sense of self. Yeah.
I
don't
want to know how he's managed this, because at 26 I did not have a strong identity at all.
Super strong. I don't know. Like honestly, I guess it's like sometimes you meet people and they're just sort of like a force of nature a wee bit,
Right.
and maybe it's I don't know how you get it, but yeah, he's
Have you ever heard of the band This Is The Kit?
yes.
Saf really likes that band, and I've was listening to them for the first time.
Kate tour man or drove them around on tour. They've
Really?
stayed in my flat not recently, but like
You're
in
joking.
the last couple of years. Yeah, they're lovely.
Literally just listening for the first time, but some of her lyrics, I'll send you a song afterwards.
Oh, aye.
I'll play it in the podcast, in fact, that's what I'll do. And they can give me a copyright strike for it. But she sings well about, she speaks well about, it's probably better if I just let you hear her.
He had a peace, the earth speaking up through his feet. Underneath, up through the darkness it speaks.
How long have you seen this boy?
I guess maybe our first date was like start of March. It was freezing. It was still like it was on the beach. It was in Portobello. We had a coffee at like stupid o'clock in the morning, like 9 in the morning on a Saturday because I had work, and I was just like, and our schedules were mismatched, I would say. And so that was like the only time, I don't know, we've been chatting for a bit and I was like, oh my god, he's got good chat. And we met at like 9 in the morning. I mind it was still like hailing and it was just like freezing cold. So it was still maybe like March time.
When you say had good chat, you mean you had good chemistry, the girl speaking, or?
When it was on the app, when it was Hinge before, like I kind of thought he had quite good chat on that. And then when we met, I felt we had good chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah, so both, correct. Yeah.
So straight away,
Yeah.
with some kind of connection.
Yeah. I don't know how people get it though. I guess just having interests. Also, sometimes I don't know if you've dated when you meet people and it's clear they don't really do anything. They don't really have any interests or anything like that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's an unfortunate amount. I mean, I've only ever been on first dates, but for an unfortunate amount.
Sometimes
of them,
that's enough.
Aye. For an unfortunate amount of them, of like people who are just kind of waiting to. It feels a bit like they're just kind of waiting to slump on you. Can I slump on you for the rest of your life?
Like a tick.
Aye,
Just like-
kind of just a large human tick.
And like suck all the life out of you.
Aye,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
So I would say like maybe I'd had my fill of that where I'm like, where's your like pizzazz, or I don't know, like sometimes I'm like actually quite a lot of the times we don't even have to be into the same things, just have some kind of passion in life. That's cool.
I don't think a lot of folk are that good at living though,
No.
because you don't really get taught how to do it properly.
Nah.
Kind of need to feel your life through.
So you're good at living.
Getting better. Kind of like facing in a better direction, kind of, I think. So I've learned a lot in the last 2 or 3 years.
That's good.
But it's not been easy either.
No.
But I'll be full of big talk now that I've met somebody. It'll be
No, I didn't think I knew living before, but now I do. No, that's exciting. That's so nice when you meet someone. And was it like the first time that you met, you kind of knew there was something there?
Aye.
That's nice.
We went for a walk for like a few hours in a park just in the West End.
Nice.
And there was a few points where she was just like so openly honest, like when she was talking about things, like stuff that actually matters that she was talking about,
Yeah.
where she was clearly just genuine. So by the end of the day I was having a panic attack. And by the second date, a near nervous breakdown, which was only about 4 days later. But I'd written out a list, I'd actually make notes for the second date, because I didn't want to miss anything, I didn't want to leave anything out. But I was so nervous that I was nervous anyway, but I've already told her this, but like, she turned up with these Doc Marten boots that were fucked up with like purple laces in them, and it was like something out of like a John Cusack film or something. I just couldn't take it. I was already nervous, but I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take these purple laces. So instead of my notes, I just ended up saying stuff that I didn't want to say, and then saying, I didn't mean to say that, this isn't me.
Oh, it's
But
really
it's,
cute taking notes to a date. It's hard, I don't know, like...
No, no like paper notes, like they were on my phone.
That's sweet. Oh, it is nice when you meet someone that you are really into. It's a nice energy.
Everybody always, I think we said this already, but everybody always says the same thing, but you don't really hear it when you're single. They always say like, when you meet somebody, it'll be like, everything will be easy. It'll just a lot of stuff will just work, and that seems to be the case.
I feel like I hear that all the time. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll just need to find the person that
Well,
makes
it also,
it.
I think it also comes with more experience though as well, more life experience, because you have more likelihood of finding somebody who you have a lot of common with.
I think the main thing is not having that many opportunities to actually go out and meet people. So it would have to be via the apps, and oh my god, I hate it's just so much admin.
I know, it's terrible. I don't know what it's like for lassies, but for a guy, it's hard work.
I just unmatched from a guy actually, which I rarely do. I always try and give people a wee chance, but his chat wasn't very good. But so I'm on Hinge.
If I was messaging you on a dating app, I would do the same thing I do with everybody else, but I would try and get you off the app as soon as possible.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Well,
Does that make you feel unsafe?
yeah, 'cause you assume that's gonna.
I just hate the dating, like going into the dating app and
it's just-
chatting so much
But
that
it's just like oh well. So what do you mean by as soon as possible? Like I would say go for a coffee within a week.
aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, same. Right. So so you've been on Hinge before. Have you been on that one?
No, I've not tried that one.
Okay. Well, so you've got like 6 pictures, and you've got these like 3 prompt things. So you've got to be like, I don't know, it would be like, you know, start talking to me about factory farms or whatever. So you've got a prompt, you've got to finish it, and it sort of gives you a sense of what people are like, get your personality across. You get 6 opportunity, you get 6 pictures, you've got 3 statements. From that, you should be able to kind of start a conversation or be like, oh, I like this person. But the amount of people that just like me and then don't say anything, I'm like, oh no, like you've got to, like, you don't go up to someone in a bar and then just tap them and then start winching them. You've got to like, well maybe you do, I don't know, I don't remember bars. You've got to like talk to them. You've got to be like, oh, I saw your profile and I see you're interested in factory farms.
I think it just becomes a grind for people.
Well, but then this is it. Get off the app. If you're not like in a position to put in the work on yourself. Go and, I don't know, but it just feels a bit like, is that really how you want to start something?
Well, I thought the main selling point of Bumble was that lassies made the opening statements.
I find it too stressful though.
More often than not, I just go hi or hello.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
But I find the countdown too stressful, and it would be like, oh, Brian likes you have 24 hours to respond. Like, oh my God, what happens after that? Is he going to be okay? Oh my God. And yeah, so it just I found that too stressful. But anyways, I've been kind of like on and off it. I've only really had like, this guy. So he had said something, so I matched with him. And I always give people that speak to me, first of all, let's say something, relate to my profile, a chance, because I'm like, right, okay, I don't know, it's whatever, maybe we'll have something in common. And then like he didn't make any reference to my profile at all, and then just kept chatting, and then he was like, oh, what does it take? And then after a few days he was like, oh, what does it take for you to go out on a date? And I could just say something like, oh, well, normally I like to build a bit of rapport, find out our shared interests, and then perhaps go on a date that reflects some of our shared interests and or beliefs or whatever. And then he was like, oh, cool, well, if you want to do that, and then just tell me the time and I'll come along. And I was like, mate, you've not even tried at all, and it wasn't even in a jokey way. This was like genuine.
But then maybe he's just useless at that.
Well, that's not what I want then.
Okay, right, calm down.
Great, like, after a hard day's admin, you have to organise this man's romantic life. Come on. Anyway, so, yeah. But then also, so I'll give it a try for a bit, and if I feel that, I recognise that if you ever feel negatively towards the apps or the situation, you've got to come off, because it just if you give out bad vibes, you get back bad vibes. But yeah, I wish other people.
I was still looking at them as well when I was like really miserable as well, and it really didn't help. Really didn't help at all.
It doesn't. It just makes everyone feel bad. It makes the people that are fine about themselves feel bad because they're having these interactions that aren't great, and it makes the people that are not ready for interactions feel quite bad as well.
How many dates do you think you've had total?
Ever in my life?
I was mainly thinking through the dating apps.
So I only started going on them like, a great timing, like kind of at the start of 2020, because I just wasn't really meeting a new mix of people in my life. So I was just like, well, I'll see if this helps. And I went on like maybe about 3 dates, just first dates, at the start of 2020, and then I went on a couple during lockdown. Maybe like, I would say like under 10, and then 2 of those I saw on more occasions.
It's not that many.
Just kind of seen them for a bit longer. So, yeah.
There's no tons.
No.
I'm sure Richie was on loads of dates, I'm sure.
Not on lockdown.
No, not on lockdown. No.
There was a period, but then he was saying that he wasn't that happy. I think it just depends, like, I think some people come out of a relationship and they think that that's what they should be doing.
Definitely.
And it's just not.
As much as I flew in my marriage, like, I'm definitely doing the right thing. Here we go, new life. As much as I was thinking like that, I was also in the back of my mind thinking, I'm probably going to meet somebody else like almost immediately,
Yeah.
because I'm already thinking about a couple of people already, so I probably will. And then that didn't happen, and then other things started to happen that I wasn't prepared for.
I think people, you know, the best relationship you can have is with yourself. But it's
People don't know that.
It's very
They
true,
don't
though.
know that. How long have you known that?
How long have I known it? Well, after
There's a squirrel there.
that's a human man.
No, the graves. He's a human man.
It's not, it could be a squirrel man. I don't know. That's a human man. Well, you know someone that I went out with. I was not happy in that, and after that ended, I was just like excited just to be single. So I took a year, no dating at all, and I did like drum lessons. I went to like a writing class. I did just like fun stuff that when you're with someone who's controlling of your time that you don't get to do. So I just did loads of stuff and had a great time. And then after a year, yeah, just kind of like felt like ready to meet people and wasn't like paranoid that people would try and like control my, I don't know. I think that's a very different thing though, but yeah. Hello.
Alright. I think that's a Doberman. I think.
Aye, looks like one. Just got that
Nice tail. Nice cuddly tail.
wee curly. It's very tight balls, I noticed.
Goodness sake.
Just like,
Shout that at the woman, she might find that. He's got tight balls, hasn't he?
so how long have I known it? I mean, I've always kind of like known a bit of it. I've known it.
Was
people
that
give
like
me
a long
advice.
thing then that you were coming out of that? When you felt like you had to take a break for dating?
Oh, again,
was it a longer relationship? Or did it feel like a long
It
relationship?
felt like fucking ages. It felt like far too long. It was about a year too long and it only lasted about 18 months. So
The last time seen was in an 18-year relationship. 18 years.
whoa, that's the last person you were seeing.
No,
The
the one I'm seeing, like her old, the person I'm seeing now.
aye.
her
Oh
last
my god,
relationship.
what happened? Like
It was just like they met young and were married for a long time.
has she been single for a while?
3 years.
Oh, that's fine then.
Still,
There's
I
still
mean,
be stuff to work through, but at least
Aye,
it's not
like-
like 3 months when the breakdown
This
is
is when you were
probably-
talking about like finding yourself, because she says things like that as well. It's like once you've
Yeah.
got a long relationship, it's a really
I mean, that's
life-changing thing.
different though. You meet somebody when you're like, you're such a different person in so many different parts of your life. And if you're with somebody that you can't grow with, or you just grow apart from, then you probably have to refine yourself a lot, maybe.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Aye. 18 years, man.
I know. I was what, 9 years, and that felt massive.
Yeah.
You've still got plenty of time. I still wasn't married by your age, so you've got time to have a long marriage, realise that it's not for you, and then start all over again.
But you know what? I'm not even certain that is a thing that I aspire to, you know? Like, I don't particularly have any desire to have kids. I know some people that's a
I saw
thing.
you tweet. I saw that on your Instagram as well. Normalising,
No,
like
Being
not
neutral.
wanting
I
children.
I like children. They're like lovely if other people have them. And like, if I was in a relationship where I was like certain that it was equal and that I wasn't going to be just left doing everything, then it would be something I'd maybe consider. But I think in relationships I've been in before, that's not felt like a thing. Like there's been that much kind of equality or space for it. So I'm like, it's not something that I particularly want. And I feel bad because I do have friends that really want that, and the female friends that feel that they've lost a lot of time.
I think there's definitely a strong biological need at some point for some people.
For some people, yeah. But you just have to know that your body's lying to you. That's not what I want. You just have to go like, oh, I've got.
It's a decision about what you think you're going to find fulfilling in life, I think.
Oh, exactly. And I just.
Too many people go into it just because they think it's what they should be doing. It's the expectation.
I've got friends.
And
friends
too many,
that
I
are-
think too many people are like trying to find meaning through their children, which is is no good for anybody.
I don't think I bring my parents much meaning. So.
No, I mean, no, there's like a disillusionment within people, and they overcompensate through their children, I think.
Oh, for sure. And I want to write terrible fiction instead, and that can be my
That's what the world
baby.
needs. That's what the world needs.
Exactly.
That's better for the environment, as long as you're not doing it on paper.
Exactly. I'll have to figure out.
What was the thing you performed recently? You said you...
Oh yeah. Well, this is so. I've been kind of like dabbling. I've done a couple of writing classes over lockdown, which has been amazing stuff. There was one that was a group in London, Write Like a Girl, with oh my god, I've forgotten her name. Kerry something. She's a Glaswegian author, but based in London or in the south now. And there's this writing group that for 10 weeks, and normally I would never get to go to that, but now they're doing it on Zoom. So I was like, oh, I'll do this. So it was like, £100 or whatever for the 10 weeks, and it was really good. Like getting into different practice, writing for 15-minute slots every day, and then like you think you never have time to do anything.
Well,
oh, is he right there?
well,
Oh yeah.
Well,
Hey buddy.
did they recommend that writing for 15 minutes every day?
Yeah, so that's basically, and so it was a class that was for women, like anyone who identified as women, and I think a lot of the thing is, there was a few mums that were there, and mums, our parents are very busy, and they were just like, oh, I don't have the time to write ever, blah blah blah, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And then they were like, oh my god, if you just say 15 minutes, sit down for 15 minutes and do a timer, you do find time. So by the end of the week, they'd done like over an hour of writing, and when previously they weren't doing anything. So I thought that was really lovely.
I heard I was picking up guitar again. I've got some chords, but that's about it. But
Yeah.
I heard some advice from a guy on YouTube saying more or less the same things.
Yeah.
When you're beginning something new, like just as a general rule, it's good that when you're beginning something new, just set a low bar.
Yeah.
Like just make sure that you're beginning. So like
Exactly.
10 minutes will do. 10 minutes is fine. It's better than nothing.
It's like meditation, I'm sure.
Uh-huh,
If you do it a little bit, I mean, how long do you meditate for?
20 minutes. With the regular 20 minutes in the
Yeah.
morning.
So yeah. But when you started off, it was like do it for like a couple of
Half
minutes.
that. No, it was 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I mean, I dove in though. I was like,
Yeah, straight in.
I need something, so give me everything. I was like using multiple apps and like 4 or 5 times a day.
Oh my god. Did you have to get off the meditating?
Aye, well, it wasn't even, I was overcompensating. When I went to like this crisis centre type place in Dumbarton, and I was saying like I feel as if I'm doing the right things because I'm like running. I was running like a maniac.
You were
like,
running loads.
and like meditating all the time, but they were trying to explain to me like you don't like things are a bit out of whack. Like, obviously, getting balance because I wasn't really seeing anybody. I wasn't
Yeah.
socialising and stuff.
That was a shame because I seen you. What was that? December time at Richie and Leah's,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yeah, this is me. I'm gonna new me. I'm gonna socialise more." And then like February, March,
Yeah.
back in COVID.
Mhm.
I mean, it can't be harmful. Well, I guess.
What can it be harmful?
It
Over
just-
meditating?
Yeah.
No, it can't be harmful. No, it definitely, like, the benefit, you don't realise the benefits until afterwards, really, is how it kind of works with that kind of contemplative. You don't realise what you're learning until there's a bit of distance between you and that. Because all they ever tell you is when you're having strong negative mindsets like that is to examine it, really. That's all meditation is, really, is just put your attention on things, in particular the things that your mind doesn't want you to put attention on.
Yeah. I found after I did like the 30 days of yoga thing, I found myself in situations where I would normally get like stressed or angry that I kind of felt like I was watching myself. Like I was observer, being like, and I was like, I don't know how to describe it better, but I had like a controller and I could be like, or I had a little tannoy and be like, Laura, don't don't get angry at that. Just take a breath and don't send the immediate response that you would send normally to this stupid, yes, we could all in our head agree that this is a very stupid email you've just received. But the best way to respond to that is to wait for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, is that kind of what you get?
The practice sounds like, I get the impression from an awful lot of people that people think that meditation is like having a herbal tea or something, or like just having a sit down and a relax.
Yeah.
When it's
I fall asleep all the time. I always fall asleep.
No, that shouldn't be happening. You can't be paying that much attention if you're falling asleep.
You've just got very calming
When are you doing it?
Depends. The other day I did it in the park, and I probably won't do that again because a very mischievous dog just started playing with me. Just started jumping on me, and the owners were very apologetic. But yeah, it must have sensed like, oh, she's close to some kind of epiphany.
What they do in the Headspace app, is it Headspace you were using?
Yeah, correct.
Is it concentrating your breathing?
So we've got this like work subscription thing, and it's like baffling. There's so many options. I don't really know what to go with. Oh, maybe I should do the basics course. That's probably what I should do. So I did like impermanence today. I just do whatever today's meditation is.
There's another one called that I was using when I first started meditating called 10% Happier. It's mainly a Buddhist one, but that has a lot of different teachers and speakers on it as well. But you mentioned impermanence there, but one of my favourite ones was a Buddhist one that has 3 parts to it. I think they call it an insights course, and the 3 parts are basically they kind of address your relationship with change, unpredictability, and then the third one is not self, which is a bit more complicated, but it's basically just, it's, as they sound really, it's just coming to terms, understanding better that change is permanent, and it never stops.
Yeah.
The not self part is a lot more like what my app is like, where you're concentrating on the breathing, but it will regularly ask you to, once you kind of have a focus of attention, to then try and attempt to bring your attention upon itself. So see where your attention is coming from.
Okay.
Which should, through practice, give you a better feeling of a dissolvement of self.
Yeah.
And a realisation that there isn't really a centre to consciousness. The way you're conditioned to think that there is a centre.
Oh my god.
But it's a practice thing, it's a practice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like whittling understanding of it. A lot of the time you don't really know what it is you're doing, but over time you get a better sense of yourself.
Because I kind of like it when they go, just what you're saying about look at where your focus is coming from. I always feel bad when you're doing meditation and you're like, oh,
I couldn't even understand. I remember like it was Lemmy on Twitter used to talk about like he would calm himself down by concentrating on his breathing. I remember trying it and I'm like, I don't even understand what he's talking about. What do you mean? What, put your attention on your what? What do you mean? Just right, okay, I don't get it.
And done. Yeah.
But it's to the exclusion of everything else that you try and focus your attention. But it also uses sounds and everything really. Eyes open meditation it does quite often, and I'm terrible at that because there's so much immediate association with everything, so your mind just wanders.
Where do you do it? Do you have like a special room? Or
in my bedroom, usually in the morning, but do it wherever. Did it in the train on the way here.
Good work. Yeah, I should have done that instead of telling teenagers to take their mask off. Should have chilled out.
But you never had a regular practice, no?
No, I'm pretty new to it. I'm really bad for just like kind of picking up things and then doing them for a bit and be like, wow, that made me feel better, and then stopping. Apart from running, that's probably...
How long have you been running?
How long have I been running? I probably, do you know what, maybe around 2-3 years.
Okay.
I've been kind of getting more into it, and definitely more now that because when I worked shifts before, it was just a nightmare to try and fit in time, and like you know, not be able to run at night sort of thing.
How regular do you run?
3 times a week, so twice before work, and then I'll do like a longer run at the weekends. So just like 10k at the moment, but I think I might be doing a half marathon maybe in
The Edinburgh one?
October. No, the Glasgow one. So I think that's in October, if it goes ahead, I don't know.
I was done for the Edinburgh one last year before the lockdown happened.
Oh yeah, I think was it the same weekend? Or no?
It wasn't long, I think it was May. It was like, wasn't it long into
Oh, I was going up
lockdowns.
to, I was supposed to go up to Lewis to do the half marathon in Stornoway.
That'd be good. Have you
Oh,
done
would it
that
be
before?
amazing? No, my auntie's up there, and she's always trying to get me to go up and do it, and always try to get me into running.
I've been on Skye. I was on Skye for the first time last year, but I've never been on any of the islands, and Saf wants to do a lot of camping, so
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
looking forward to.
Oh my god, you can do
Explore.
it this summer, do you think?
Aye.
Oh, okay, right. I didn't think
Already
I'd be done as a
tried.
camper before.
No, definitely. Aye. I
Aye.
used to go camping with my grandpa when I was away.
Oh, that's
He was
cute.
my father figure. I was just talking about my grandpa last night to my cousin because it was strange. I started talking to my dad last year for the first time in like 25 years.
All right.
So we're like getting a lot of stories that I've never heard before, and we were talking about my grandpa,
Was your grandpa
And-
your dad's dad? Or
my mum's
mine's
dad,
okay.
because my parents split up when I was 4, maybe 4 or 5. But for some reason, this had an effect on my grandpa because everybody else's memory of my grandpa is that he was a horrible old bastard. He was a horrible old boozing, grumpy bastard. But
Yeah.
I never seen any of that.
Yeah.
My grandpa was a lovely, kind, informative, patient old guy.
Yeah,
And nobody else got that, so it's just kind of weird.
that's so
But
fun.
he'd take me away fishing trips, so I
Yeah.
only saw all the best stuff.
Yeah. Must be hard though, once you get a reputation. Like my grandpa, he like worked in the shipyards and stuff like
My
that.
dad
and
worked in the shipyards.
yeah, what on the
In Govan.
Clydebank.
Mm.
But I think he would come back from work and be like, and it would just be like fall asleep in the living room, and then everyone would take a chat. Like when it was dinner time, they had to go and wake him up and be like terrified of him because he'd just be like, ah! And apparently he was just like pure Raj. And then little Edinburgh word I've picked up, Raj. Oh, do you like it? And
What does Raj mean exactly?
just being a bit Raj, you know.
Is there a Glasgow alternative?
Um,
Gallus? No, I get called Gallus.
is Gallus not like
Saf said I was
confident?
Gallus.
Gallus?
I was having a mental breakdown 18 months ago. She's called me Gallus.
You're awful Gallus.
She's for London.
Oh, awful Gallus, Ryan. Awful Gallus. So Raj, it's probably in the ballpark of Gallus, yeah, but just a bit scaffier maybe. I don't know.
It's not a compliment anyway.
It's not a compliment.
It couldn't be a compliment under any circumstances.
Probably not.
Okay.
But yeah, but then when the grandkids came along, maybe it's retirement does it as well. It's just like, oh, just relax and like, oh, I'll make you a little swing set in the garden and stuff like that. So yeah, same vibes. That's
But aye,
sweet,
because
though.
of the fishing trips, I was already on board with camping. I've not done it in years and years. But she's already done plenty of exploring, but still wants to do now. We tried it last Saturday, but we left it too late, so we camped in a camping management zone. But we thought we'd maybe get away with it, but we didn't.
Oh no.
Got the tent set up, got the fire going, started to cook. Then the wardens turned up and went,
Oh, where was it?
Loch. Was it Chon we were on? I run about Loch Chon, but I can't mind if it was the Loch next to it.
Yeah.
Like north.
God,
west.
Imagine being a warden. What a life.
They were really nice about it,
Yeah.
but the amount of dicks they must have to put up with.
We camped in. That's a loud bird.
Yes.
We camped in. Yeah, is it Yellow? Not Yellow. Yellowstone. Yellow Craigs.
What's that?
It's like a beach on kind of near North Berwick. It's about an hour's. I can tell you exactly. It's an hour's walk from North Berwick, and there's a really nice beach there. And we were camping And then like, the warden came along and he was so lovely, and he was just like, oh, if you maybe don't have a fire pit, because the people that had been there before us had obviously had burnt the grass, and we were like, oh, it wasn't us, but we were just like, it was just a really nice way to kind of come up and speak to a group of Raj campers. Just
I was
sitting there.
wanting to ask it because the reason why I didn't ask is because I knew they were being nice about it, but we also still felt like we were in trouble for doing stuff that we shouldn't have been doing. But I was wanting to ask about the campfires because I just want to know the science behind what's bad about it.
Oh, right.
Because in my head, like, natural fires happen anyway and all the deadwood's lying about, so I just want to know what the actual...
Maybe it's to discourage people from going about and like chopping down trees and stuff.
taking not deadwood. But they do say don't, like, disperse the woods and stuff.
And yeah,
I assume it's just the damage that happens around the campfire more than the campfire itself.
Because it said it was okay to do it on the beach, obviously.
Right.
But we had like a thing, like a campfire thing, like a, I don't know, a thing that you put it in.
That thing.
You know, a
that
thing.
You can take away.
You know the things.
Aye.
Yeah.
We didn't have one of them.
That'll do it. Oh man, that would be annoying after you'd started a fire,
It's fine.
sitting there.
We proved our point.
Flint.
We did all the hard things. We just didn't get to enjoy it for very long.
That sounds really sweet.
It was a
Nice
good
though.
setup.
Do you drive?
Uh-huh.
You do drive?
Yeah. I've not got a car. I've got my parents' car just now. But I thought I was going to be able to buy my sister's wee Mini. It's the wee Mini that me and Dee used to have.
Aye.
But she's wanting to hold on to it. She's still using it.
Did you sell it to her?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I thought I was going to be able to buy it back, but she's still using
Just
it.
go like, come to the one you love.
It's cracking. Driving around the wee country roads and the wee Minis. Brilliant fun. Do you drive?
No, I should try and learn. There's a few things that I want to do where I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if I could do this, and it would give me so much more freedom. Especially now that I've become an anxious person again on public transport. Woohoo! I'm sure I'll get over that. Once I'm vaccinated, I'm sure I'll feel a lot better.
Have you had any jobs? No.
Not yet. So
No
young,
dates
I'm only-
either? No dates either?
No
To
dates?
get one? No, I mean, no date for the jab.
Like, all right, rub it in. No dates and no jab.
Are you
Someone's not doing very well for herself.
Are you wanting dates? Are you waiting for dates?
I've got no, not really.
Because this podcast gets hundreds of listeners.
All
like
right.
Hundreds.
Yes. Just DM me.
But only with good chat.
Only we could chat, or at least match mine. I don't know if that's good. Next week, next Wednesday.
All right, okay. What day is that?
Wednesday.
Oh, right. So is it the AstraZeneca one you're getting? Don't
Probably
know.
not, because I think all my pals that are under 40, especially female pals, have been getting the Pfizer or Moderna quite a lot. A lot of them are getting Moderna just because I think AstraZeneca, there's more chance of getting blood clots.
All right,
and,
okay.
You know, people with periods under a certain age are, you know, more likely to be on birth control, and that's already an elevated risk for blood clots and stuff. So I think it's just easier just to give everyone under a certain age.
Right. See. I don't know. Do you know what the side effects are? Or the one that you got?
No,
Whether anybody's rough afterwards or?
most people that I've heard that have been rough have had the AstraZeneca.
Aye.
Were you? Yeah.
Like a day and a half. It was kind of minging.
Yeah.
Saf's getting hers on Saturday, so we're not really making any plans because.
Fight that outbreak. Although level 2 now.
I don't know what any it means. I don't follow it. What does level 2 mean?
Don't believe in it. Don't believe in it.
I think that's what people hear when I say that I'm not watching the news. Like, fucking conspiracy.
Masks, they actually make it worse. I didn't tell you about my writing though, did I?
No.
Aye. So what did I do? I've been in a new class now. I've been doing,
This is related to the thing you performed?
yeah.
Aye.
So I'm in a new class run by a guy who edits a journal or publication, I guess, in Glasgow, and it's been really fun. My friend Craig invited me along to it. He's done a couple of it.
Look how long your eyelashes are. That's incredible. I get compliments about my eyelashes, but that's
I'm not even wearing any mascara. Yeah, apparently the only other person in my family that had long eyelashes was my Uncle James. and my aunties.
Have you been getting
yeah.
compliments since a young age about your eyelashes?
Well,
Because
my
I
aunt-
remember I used to get them all the time.
Yeah, people would always be like, "Oh, you've got such long eyelashes." Yeah. I'm
Sorry,
like,
I keep interrupting.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, my friend Craig invited me along to it. He'd been doing it for he's done it for a couple of sessions, so maybe like I don't know, in lockdown, so a year or so. And I'd been in a total creative slump. I don't know. But now I feel like I've come out of it a bit. So I don't know if it's, I don't know, like seeing someone new, I've seen someone, or kind of just things opening up or whatever. Just like kind of just a bit of change in my life. That meant that I just had a bit more inspiration and I was just doing more things. So yeah, I wrote a story about a depressed woman that goes wild swimming, and then does she drown at the end? Maybe. And I read it out in front of.
Did you read it like that?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I get really nervous doing anything in front of people. So I don't think I read it out very well. I think I read it out like a child in primary school. Like, and then she went up to the pier and she stepped into the water.
I had to stop when I get invited to my sister's for Christmas. They asked me to read like Christmas carol story things when they went to bed, read them stories and stuff, Christmas stories. But I was so nervous doing that that I had to sack it after like a couple of pages. I know, that's pretty nerve-wracking.
That's pretty nerve-wracking. Although children are brutal. They all do, you're not doing the voice properly. I don't know how to do the voice.
So it was nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, it was okay, but the feedback was really lovely. The feedback was generally like, this is really weird. I had no idea what was going on, but I really enjoyed it, which I think is pretty good.
Saf's an artist,
Ooh.
like a visual artist and
Okay.
dancer, and she's because of like COVID. I know I'm saying these words, but I don't know what any of them mean. Because of like COVID lockdown stuff, everything's online just now. So
Yeah.
like, there's the art festivals that are happening that I've never heard of before. But she watches them because she knows people in them and like is also obviously interested in them. So we've watched a couple.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, has she been able to submit stuff to like places that she might not have been able to before?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
She seems to have many irons in the fire all
Yeah.
the time. So, but we've watched a few things through these festival
Yeah.
things, and it's like I'm like watching it and I'm going like, this is interesting, but I don't know what to say about what I don't know what I'm looking at.
I kind of love it if I go to like, I don't know, but I'm not a particularly cultured person when it comes to like ballet or opera or whatever, or contemporary dance, and I'll go to something and I'll be like, oh, I really enjoyed that, it made me feel things, but I won't know if it's good or not. I'll just be like, but I think that's quite nice, like you're kind of removed from a sense of you don't have to be a critic, because if I go and see a gig or whatever, you know, I'll be like, oh, this band is like, oh, they're good, or they're a bit shit or whatever, and you just feel like you've got sort of maybe literacy about it. But if you get exposed to something that you're not as familiar with, you just sort of let it kind of wash over you.
If you go into it with the right mindset, aye. We did watch one where, it sounds so petty, but it was the idea was really nice. The idea was that it was like an audio piece where it was like a fake radio station, and there were audio pieces for around the world, just ambient noise for around the world at the end of the day in different parts of the world. It was like aesthetically a nice thing, but it was also tied together with this Edinburgh guy who had an Edinburgh voice, and it
I was
really,
very jealous of him.
it really rubbed me up the wrong way. It had such a insincerity about it that really rubbed me up the wrong way.
What can you do an Edinburgh impression?
No.
I just go full. Do you know what they call the sides in a kitchen? Do you know what they call the worktop in Edinburgh?
What?
Bunker.
What?
So I'd be like, oh, did you put the bread on the bunker, eh? That'll be my Edinburgh
I know
impression.
the I know using the gives you a bit of the sound. A bunker? Never heard that before in my life.
Bunker. Maybe it's a Fife thing. They've got the secret bunker, and then they've got all the other bunkers.
What's the secret?
You've never been in a secret bunker? It's a secret. Well, I mean, I guess they're doing their job, keeping it very quiet. It is.
Should you say if it's a secret?
Oh, it's just me and you, though. It's fine. It is old war bunker, nuclear bunker.
Well?
a bunker near St Andrews. in the kingdom of Fife.
Is it a big thing?
I went as a child. I went as a child, and I remember it's got a lot of like kind of like creepy old mannequins. I love museums that have like creepy old mannequins.
I think
Like-
Video Guiding filmed in it.
Oh, do you?
Because Robert filmed in a bunker and it had mannequins and stuff
Yeah,
in the review.
that
But I
must
never
be
went
it.
to I never went in. I think that'll be it.
That must be it.
There's an old war room and stuff that
Yeah.
be the same thing. That guy's voice. But I'm pretty sure that there's like a lot of insecurities tied into me reacting like that. I'm sure that's like a Glaswegian chip on my shoulder.
Oh no, it's just Edinburgh accents, man.
Are you actually genuinely saying that? Are you agreeing with me? I can't tell. Because Glaswegians will agree with me. I will get Glaswegians that'll agree with me. I know what you mean. Mate.
Oh, you can't be having it. No, man, can't be having that.
Ah,
I'm not even
fair,
Glaswegian. I'm Claybank. It's very different. I don't know. There's a weird animosity between Claybank and Glasgow that I don't even know. We're not Weed Jews, though.
Is it
From
not
Claybank.
everybody around Glasgow that's just got a bit of animosity with Glasgow?
I think Glasgow's the problem.
Even, oh fuck me, I went to my dad's yesterday. He lives in a tower block. He lives in the 12th floor. I know he lives in the 12th floor because I accidentally went to the 13th floor.
Oh.
But as soon as I came out of the lift, there was a guy, 20-ish, mid-20s, out his face on something
Oh fuck.
with a baseball bat in his hand
Oh shit.
and started telling me that he's having arguments with his brother. But every time he said, I'm fighting my brothers, like he was getting into it, and I was like, oh my god.
God.
Like, I managed to talk to him for like a couple of minutes, but wanted to get away as quick
Oh, I
as
miss
possible.
it.
Oh, it was pretty tense. It was pretty tense.
Oh, God.
He'd calmed down a wee bit by the time I'd left, but he was offering me fags and stuff and like starting to invite me in, and I was like,
No, thank you.
no.
It's not allowed yet. Not allowed. That's a good
No, I'm
excuse. If you-
distancing, mate.
if you knew-
Otherwise,
If you knew about your tier 2, tier 3, you would have had
Uh-huh.
a great excuse. That's why you should watch the news. Actually, don't watch the news. It's not worth it.
do you watch news every day?
No, I listen to the radio in the morning and I'll listen to like the headlines. I've stopped. It sounds terrible, but I have like largely stopped watching like the news on TV anyway. I try not to watch that much TV. I'll watch stuff like on demand or whatever, and I'll seek out things. But I think just for it's such a place of privilege, isn't it, to be like, oh, for my mental health, I'm going to like avoid.
That's why I does it.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so. I don't have that much power, so why is it essential that I know about every single conflict in the world? Because I have
I've
no.
never done
it just
anything
makes
about
me.
I spent 40 years not doing anything about anything that happened on the news, so really, the endless stream coming into me every day.
When were you 40?
I'm 43 now,
40?
so
Oh.
3 years old.
Oh.
Aye, no, that's why I stopped. But you're on social media and stuff anyway, so you must
Yeah.
hear from
I'll
folk.
get it, my little echo chamber, my little lefty echo chamber will let stuff in.
You do Twitter?
Yes.
Every day do you look at Twitter?
Not as much as I used to. I think I used to be like quite big into Twitter, but now I won't really look. But on my job, I have to do like social media for my job, so I'll kind of be on it and I'll see like things trending or whatever, and then I'll be like, oh, aware of stuff. So yeah, I guess to a certain extent it's kind of always there, but I'm not. I used to like think of like stuff about, oh, that would be a funny tweet, and like that's a terrible thing for your brain to get to.
People were reminding me on streamer some of the stuff that I tweeted. They were saying it was funny. I didn't find it funny, like stuff about Jade Goody and stuff that I'd
God.
tweeting about. But I remember stuff that's just like.
You got banned, didn't you?
No, that's like just stupid threats and stuff, like jokey threats that I get banned for.
Was
but
it for shooting Richie? Was that it?
no, he shot me.
Oh,
He
that's
got
right,
banned for threatening to shoot me. Rightfully got banned.
Oh, poor Richie.
That was the worst. That was so bad. I thought he would get a warning for that.
Did you learn a lesson though?
I did. And his reaction was like straight away. It was like he never had a crossword at any time.
God, a man
It
must
was like-
meditate for
I remember-
23 hours a day. He's so forgiving.
I don't know how it's happened. I know what he said straight away was he wanted to come off Twitter anyway, so I did him a favour.
Aww. Oh, isn't that so nice?
It
So
is, but he
nice.
probably should snap now and again.
Right. You have occasionally heard him have a wee snap.
He said the word fine in a particularly aggressive way.
Oh,
Aye, but talking about like coming up with funny tweets and stuff like that, I remember the chasing it, chasing the coming
the
up with
dopamine
shit.
or whatever.
Aye,
Endorphins you get from a like.
whatever it is. Just thinking it was important to, and coming up with vicious stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
Stuff I wouldn't want to repeat. Stuff I'm actually genuinely ashamed of.
It is quite weird how it does sort of encourage nastiness to it. I feel
Twitter,
like, yeah.
in particular.
Oh yeah, Instagram I feel like is like at worst you'll get like a snarky infographic or something like that, or I don't know.
I don't really interact with anybody on Instagram. I just do my story. So I don't read comments or anything.
Nah.
What do you mean? What did you
Oh
mean?
no, it's like
about
the infographics where they'll be like, this is what people aren't telling you about the war between Glasgow and Edinburgh or whatever, and then it'll have like 10-point things, and it'll just be like those kind of things where they put stuff up, and I don't know. There's like, it's part of me is like Instagram kind of annoys me where it feels like people feel like they're doing activism or something like that by sharing something, but it's not really, unless you're like donating money. It's like, I don't know how much.
I think I feel as if I go on about that quite a lot, about how people think they're participating just because they're plugged into the like button, but they're not actually doing anything. They're not actually contributing anything.
Precisely. So I kind of feel like, I won't really share anything or kind of talk about something unless I'm like, oh, I'm also donating money against this, against it for this. I feel like I used to get more into it, and I feel like I remember, like, especially in like the indie ref and stuff like that, getting like worked up about stuff and getting into conversations with people and being like, oh, this person's like, why are they so one-sided about everything? But then also being the one side from the other side, and just kind of getting worked up in a way that now I feel in a way that I've kind of left behind a lot, and now I just put up pretty stupid stuff on a semi-regular basis. It doesn't really engage with very much, or it's like, hey, I enjoyed this podcast, listen to it.
You're better off it. You're better off it, yeah.
But you were on it. You got your Twitter back again, right? Or you just hadn't used it for a while.
No, I started doing it. I've got an account, but just doesn't. I don't think I've got any followers on it. I don't use it. I don't look at it.
Because that's where I've seen your podcast with Richie.
Did I use my own account? Oh, maybe I
I
did.
thought you did.
Oh, maybe I did. I probably did.
I feel like you did. Maybe he shared it. And I was like, I was in the kitchen making dinner or something, or doing something in the kitchen, listening to it, and it was nice. Nice.
Can't go wrong with Richie.
Have you seen him much in Glasgow?
No, not much, no. He's not been out much, I don't think. It's changing now, everything's opening up.
Aye. I seen him the other week when it was legal.
Did you know about him turning his job down? He got offered the job in Admiral.
Yeah, I was really proud of him. That's really good. Going, just having that confidence and just the knowing that he wants to kind of be freelance.
It definitely would have been a grind if he'd taken that thing.
Yeah, I would have supported him either way. But you know, I was happy because I feel like part of him would have been like, oh, I've given up or something.
It's harder to get back on your own feet as well once you take a job like that.
But I can completely understand anyone who's like freelance having that fear now, just to be like, fuck, here's a job, maybe I'll just do it. Yeah. How are you freelancing?
Yeah, technically. I've been doing it for a long time. But more recently, similar to Richie, kind of like no just going for things and no just accepting things, more thinking about like, is it actually something I want to do?
Yeah, well, that's good if you've got the...
I'm fascinated by all these things that Saf's talking about all the time, because so many different outlets that I've never didn't even know existed.
But is it like sort of a new thing? When you say outlets, do you mean something that's kind of been born out of necessity with the lockdown, or do you mean... No,
I mean the actual art forms and the world of where these things are.
You're going to get into dancing?
I would like to collaborate with on someone.
That'd be cool. My pal...
and the longer I tie her into projects like this, the more distracted she is about why she shouldn't actually be with me.
Excellent plan.
I know, I definitely want to make stuff.
That's cool. Oh, it's nice if you've got a creative outlet. Feels like existing is worthwhile.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
something.
There is a process of convincing yourself that there is meaning there just because of the conditioning that we receive. I should use the word conditioning less often because that doesn't help people thinking that I'm a conspiracy nut.
But I mean, am I finding meaning or in what I do? It's just sometimes it's just nice to do something that's dumb and get it out there. And sometimes I'm not saying that I'll find like any sort of meanings of the universe, but sometimes you can share a story or do a joke, a fart joke, and people laugh, and then that's good in itself. You know.
It's about your outlet. It's about enjoying it. Really, I think it's just about enjoying your own outlet.
And just existing.
You can't really pursue the meaning that kind of comes with time.
Very true. I feel like you're 10 years ahead of me, just like giving me all this.
I felt as if
Intel.
up until about the age of about 30 odds, like I was just totally fucking clueless. The meditation apps put it, or the ones I've primarily used, put it in terms of like being lost in thought. Like I genuinely feel as if I spent a lot of my life just kind of no understanding where I was being pulled all the time, just because I was in a sea of emotion and thought. But it's changing.
Yeah.
No.
Good work. Good work.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. But it's all recent, so I'm not anywhere near 10 years ahead of you, I don't think. You seem to be doing fine.
It's alright. Yeah.
What are you looking after things? Do you have goals?
I've been thinking about this recently. So now I was saying about thinking about buying a place, so maybe like in Glasgow, but part of me is like, now that is a possibility of like, I've saved up some money.
There's a
got
top floor
deposit.
flat in my building in Dumbarton that's gone for sale
What?
pretty soon.
What?
It's really nice, the guy's done
Is
a
that where the guy
cracking
with the
job.
baseball bat is?
No, that's my dad's in Glasgow. I'm talking about lovely Dumbarton.
Don't know if, well, this is it. I was like, I don't know if I go back to Dumbarton. Maybe I would. But then when I started thinking of Glasgow, and then I was like, is that what I want to do though? Like now I'm like, oh my God, like, I thought I saw myself from swearing there. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I could swear.
Fucking go for it.
But I was just a bit like, oh, is this what I want to do? Do I want to go and live by the sea? Do I want to be in a city? I still need to like kind of figure out the answers to these things where I'm like, oh, maybe it actually would be good to like go out to Fife or something. Well, I wanted to do it at the start of this year before we went into lockdown
But
again.
none of these things are tying you down.
Not
You can always.
Well, I kind of thought about if I bought a place, that would be sort of tying myself.
Aye, but
to-
everybody
you
thinks
can always
that.
sell
No,
it.
you can always move on.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So I could just do that and try it out. And so I guess I was just kind of waiting to see what happened pandemic-wise, but maybe I should just kind of, just sort of start doing stuff. And at the start of this year, I was thinking about because now I'm working from home just now, and I was like, well, why don't I work somewhere different from my house, work from home somewhere else. I was thinking about going up to Donegal, like my auntie and some cousins are up in, like, not far from Derry, and I was thinking, oh, why don't I just go out there and live by the sea for like a month or two, and then I couldn't do that because of the old lockdown. But and also Brexit, I'm not sure how it works.
Don't know nothing about.
But yeah, I kind of want to get a taste for living somewhere else, and because I haven't really lived anywhere. I feel like I've been sort of on a treadmill ever since I moved back from Canada, which was 2013.
How long were you in
2012.
Canada?
2 years. I only do things for 2 years, Ryan. I only do things.
I only do things
relationships.
for about a year
Yeah.
usually. Once I've seen all the seasons pass, I'm like,
That's
that's me, I'm off.
Right. Cheerio. Is it time to
I
move
take
to
it you
Dumbarton
liked-
soon?
To what?
Time to move from Dumbarton soon then? You've seen all the seasons?
No, I'm doing alright actually.
like
in
it?
Dumbarton just now. No, I like it. It is like being by the seaside a wee bit.
Yeah.
I'm really pissed off about that running track though, what they did to that running track.
Did they put a big...
Aye, because there was the old running track that was fine, it was absolutely fine, it was like a beautiful view, and that you had like a carpet of like rabbits feeding as you were running around the track,
Aw.
and swifts would dart like
Oh
around
my
your
God,
legs. It was
a
like
biodiverse haven.
It was like a Disney film or
Oh,
something.
lovely.
And the council went, oh, we'll improve the running track, so now they've put a massive fence around it
Oh.
that the rabbits can't get into. And
Aw.
they're going to build like a changing rooms and stuff, but they're actually building the changing rooms like in front of Dumbarton Rock.
Oh.
So as you're running around the track, if you want to go into the fenced area to run around the track, you don't even have a view.
Oh, we heard you liked views, so we thought we'd improve it. My God.
Idiots. Bloody idiots.
Did I like Toronto? Toronto.
You
Yeah.
were only in Toronto for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I probably would have stayed if visas weren't an issue.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
I only went for 2 weeks and wanted to move to Canada. I actually spoke to a lawyer about moving to Canada.
Was quite recently, was it?
No, that was before our marriage, so about 5 years ago,
Okay.
5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Really nice Toronto.
Yeah, it's great.
Did you stay in the centre?
Yeah, so not sure where you went. So at first, when I moved there, I lived like Ossington and Bloor, so pretty central. And then I moved to Kingston Market pretty much after that, like a hippie place.
I think we went through there.
It's like really next to Chinatown.
Is it like a gay cinema and stuff?
Gay cinema. That is the Rainbow Cinema. That is that's more south, like in the kind of Church Street area.
That's next to that big market, isn't it?
Yes, St.
Oh.
Lawrence Market. Yes,
Oh,
that's it. Yeah, I loved that cinema. I had like a $2 or like a Toonie Tuesday or something like that, and the cinema was great. And when I lived in places that didn't have any aircon, just go to the cinema and like just sit and chill, like literally for 2 hours, because like the summers were brutal. It'd be like 40 degrees and
It
humid.
was so strange because we went for 2 weeks and it was like blisteringly hot the
So
second
hot.
week, but the first week it was like freezing.
What
like
time of year?
below
Oh,
fre-
was it like springtime?
I can't remember the exact. It was like springtime. I can't remember the exact time.
Because like March, April, you can have. I remember one time being out on, it was St. Paddy's Day. I remember being out and in t-shirt and having beers outside, and it was really nice. And then the next day there was like a blizzard and was in full jacket and stuff. So yeah,
So it's
you
just
get.
like that then.
It was like that here this spring, really, wasn't it? It just kept coming back.
I think that's the world now. We've broken.
Aye, it's broken. I seen a thing on the news. I was looking at the news yesterday, but something caught my eye, and it was sea snot. There was like
what's that?
sea snot in, I think it was Vietnam.
Is this plastic?
No, well, yeah, like maybe microplastics, but it was just like stuff caused by pollution, and it was algae on the surface caused by like pollution and climate change. I guess like seas warming up, and it was this like gross sea bogies in the harbour.
Fucking hell.
Lovely. And I was just looking at it going, oh, we really fucked it, haven't we?
Well, I mean, the Barrier Reef's basically done now, so maybe people will just go and see the sea snot instead on their holidays.
A beautiful wonder.
It's the new nature.
Oh God. What else could you go and see in your holidays? One of those big garbage islands. Not England, other ones.
They were doing that when we went to the Maldives.
Oh my
They
God.
were doing that. They didn't know what to do with all the plastic water bottles, so they were literally building
Oh
water
my
bottle
God.
islands.
Like
As the real islands are sinking, the plastic water bottle islands are getting bigger.
Like a big depressing Duke of Edinburgh.
I'm sure somebody will fix it.
So aye. Greta, she'll sort it out.
Aye. Are you trying to get dates?
Well, I've only the wee hun, so he's from Belfast, and
wee
he's
hun.
not Catholic, so he's the wee hun, wee honey. He only moved away like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I'm not like in a mad rush, but I went back on the apps just to get a sense of who's out there. But I'm not in a rush.
You don't need completed by anybody.
No. Still enjoying my time. Just fanning about. But yeah, I think in your mind you're like, oh yeah, a wee summer romance, that'd be nice. But now I'm looking at weekends.
I don't do things like that.
No.
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 If I'm in, I'm all
You're
in.
in.
I'm all in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's quite nice. Just meeting. But when you're saying about that woman coming in and asking you 100 questions and then leaving after 40 minutes, I just think I enjoy meeting other people and finding out who they are. I think it's funny to go into something with too much expectations for another human, and I think she needs to obviously do work on herself.
So much of dating is like that though.
But it really shouldn't be, should it? It's just like, why are you like? I mean, there's things that are on my tick box. Like the wee hun was a magnificent cook, like so good, and that is like a definite thing.
I didn't even know huns could cook.
Me neither. None of the recipes had Fenian blood in them either. It was amazing.
We'll bleep that.
We were doing magnificent stuff for ecumenical relations. We were really, bridging that gap.
Were you doing lots of cooking then? I need to learn how to cook.
I would say a guy or anyone that can cook, it's just a very attractive quality, and just to be like, oh no, I'll got this.
Right,
and then he would cook loads, and like one day we were out, we bubbled up by this point, but we went out for a couple of beers outside, and it started to rain, and we're like, oh, we just end up going back to his. He was like, oh, just whip up a wee bit of dinner. He was like, oh, do you fancy moules frites? I'm like, fucking hell, who just whips up some moules frites? Just get some mussels and make a simple, garlic beer sauce or whatever, and wee garlic mayo and everything.
Fucking 26.
I know. Everything he made was like really delicious. So that was a definite plus.
I've never actually been to Belfast.
Me neither. My dad wouldn't let me go when I wanted to go. I remember this. I wanted to go and see Smashing Pumpkins when I was 17 and I couldn't go and see them in Glasgow because it was his birthday. It was his 50th, I think, and we was having a big party, and I couldn't do that, but I was like, oh my god, I could still go to Belfast, like I could still make that date. And then my dad was like, no, with a name like Doherty, you'll have your throat cut and stuff, and I was like, Dad, please, it's the
How are they going to know your name? How are they going to know your name?
Well,
I don't fancy going anyway. I've never had it sold to me very well, Belfast. It doesn't sound very appealing.
I don't know. I think that'd be good.
Have you ever seen Grayson Perry's Channel 4 shows where he makes he did a cracking one where he visited a family in Belfast. But the piece that he made, I think it might have been a vase, but he basically portrayed them as fools, like kind of like old style like circus characters they had them portrayed as, because they were all like the family was like heavy into the royal family union, all that nonsense. Right. So he basically made fun of them.
Wow, that's risky.
So it was a wee bit tense when you saw it, but it was good. It was spot on.
Yeah.
They were ridiculous. Hitting it with part of fucking centuries ago. But he didn't have any of that part. He had a good sense of self. He wasn't into any of the dodgy stuff, was he?
Nah.
No.
No, I mean, it's fun to joke about in a slightly removed way. He did give me a book on the Troubles on our second date.
He did what?
Give me a book on the Troubles. Not as like homework.
He'd made notes, he'd underlined some stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm halfway through. I'm up at like 76 now. Things are getting tense in the cash. It's pretty exciting. Nah, it's all a laugh. And I think, but I guess that shit still does happen in Glasgow.
Oh fuck,
like,
definitely.
And it does my tits. Like seeing that the other week in Glasgow when Rangers won whatever, I don't know, did their football stuff.
Did they win? I knew that something happened, but it's hard to tell whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing.
They won, and so they were furious about it. They were absolutely fuming. Yeah, and so seeing that and then hearing the reports of like what people had been saying, I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. It just pisses me off really, because like, my family probably wouldn't be here if they didn't have to be, so stop telling us to fuck off, basically.
Amazing that it used to be worse as well, because my stepdad's he's like Catholic Irish, but he's like 70. No.
No.
So it was really, really shit when he came in.
Aye.
Like he had to like try and get rid of his accent straight away
Mm.
because the prejudice was so bad. Yeah, stupid, fucking out of date rubbish.
Don't get that in Edinburgh. Don't get that in Edinburgh. You probably do.
There's a lot of different types of prejudices in Edinburgh. Let's not get started on that. I've put the word drugs with a question mark.
Drugs?
Drugs? Because I don't know if you do drugs. I mean, you can't really talk about it if you do. I just figure you go to all these places like islands and kind of cool gigs and stuff.
Do you know what I've been getting
Drugs
into
must be everywhere.
in lockdown? Wee edibles. Wee edibles. Just.
They have zero effect on me.
I'll hook you up. We'll see.
No.
Oh really?
No. I've
Talk to. 'Cause
no. I've been through it.
I hooked him up with the one that I
Yeah.
used, and yeah, he definitely had an effect.
He's been talking about it.
But that was good for anxious times. Just chucking a wee edible, going for a walk up Arthur's Seat, looking for the otter. Nice times.
No, they don't. It's strange. It just has zero effect on me. I've eaten far too much before, and it just nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, not for years, but mushrooms. Pretty good. Oh, you were into mushrooms for a bit.
A few times.
That was like my first sort of experience of kind of anything psychedelic in Montreal.
But no, like, I mean, it's probably different. I mean, I've spoken to other people who've done mushrooms, and it's clear that they just ate like I've lost the word. Recreationally. But
Rather
the
than
few,
like.
the few
everyday
times I've done it, I've tried to like. It's felt.
microdose?
No. I've a couple of large doses and one about half that. But it's always felt quite kind of informative. Like I felt as if I've learned stuff from doing it.
Oh yeah, I think I've had a kind of like mixed experiences of doing it, where it's always been like recreationally, which was a laugh. But then one time there was a guy that I worked with. I worked in a coffee place in Toronto, and then a guy in the kitchen just kept trying to like give me drugs all the time. And one time I was like, sure, whatever. And he gave me these mushrooms, and I didn't really know anyone, so I think I had a day off, and like my only friend was my colleague, and obviously when I'm not working, he worked, so I didn't really have anyone to do drugs with. So just having some mushrooms and going for a wee walk, and it was lovely. Yeah, good times.
That flat in Edinburgh that I was sharing with Richie, I did far too much and had a bad time. Had a really, really bad time. Ended up on the phone to my mum going, "Mum, I've taken too much." Luckily she's had loads of experience because of my stepdad. I was fine, I was just having a bit of a panic attack. What had actually happened was that in that flat, you know, it doesn't get much light, and the sun was passing, and as the sun was passing across the living room, it kind of felt like the edge of life. Like that's what I was thinking, like the shadow is like the shadow of death coming across.
That's pretty intense.
It was very intense.
Oh yeah, actually the first time, I forgot about this, the first time I did the edibles, overdosed, I got my maths extremely wrong.
Right.
And I thought I was taking like a sensible amount, but actually I took like 8 times the amount that I thought I was taking, and I was like, I basically became the couch. I was just like, I am no longer separate from couch, I am couch, and was sitting there. And then Kate had been away, my flatmate had been away all day, and then came back and was aware that I was going to be, you know, having an edible adventure in the flat. So she was aware of that, and then she came in and she like found a spider and then tried to get rid of it and chuck it out the window in the same room. And I was having a total freak out, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with the spider. I'm just a couch. I'm just a couch. How does a couch deal with a spider in the room? And that was too much. And then the next day, that was like, I was still dating a guy. This was before Christmas. And the next day we kind of met up for a coffee, and I just couldn't speak. I was just like still.
A lot of people
just really
seem to say
stoned.
that the effects of the day after are quite often more potent than the day of.
But the calmness, I think like you get maybe something akin to, you get like a high, you get like it kind of maybe open. I wouldn't say similar to mushrooms. It doesn't maybe connect everything as much, but it definitely sort of like gives, you know, the buzzy appreciation, and, you know, lights are brighter, colours are
Right.
more colourful, all that kind of stuff. And it is lovely and a bit buzzy.
Is that what?
But
Have you done
ma-
ecstasy? Is that what ecstasy kind
Yeah,
of looks like as well?
that, but also you want to like hug everyone and talk for a long
Right.
time.
And it lasts longer as well, no?
Yeah, it can do. It can last about, well, probably, yeah, like, but also into the next day as well. But
Aye, that connectivity and mushrooms, that was the second big trip. That's where I got a good
that was
feeling, a good sense of that feeling.
I feel like you can get good connectivity with mushrooms. You just get sort of euphoria with.
There was also some kind of like, there's something like kind of reductive about it as well. Like, I was looking at things that, like my phone or mugs and stuff, like after the trip, and I was looking at them going, I recognise this, but I kind of don't recognise it as well. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, just sort of being, again, being on the little game controller in your head and having a bit of distance and looking at something and being like, what does this mean in relation to my life?
I'm listening to this audiobook. There's this physicist wrote about reality, and it's so the more you hear, the more confusing things get.
Yeah.
How like we don't actually live in a world of objects, but we just organise reality in that way. It's very strange.
Also value systems as well.
How do you mean?
Just, I don't know, like, why do we value gold over like concrete? Concrete's obviously more useful, but gold is shiny, I
Or
guess.
sunlight. Why do we value sunlight?
Or this clean water and air. Why do we
Or
not
love.
value these?
Why do we not really value love
Aw.
properly?
Dromerty?
I don't know. But we'll need to let you go soon because we're at 2 hours and it's getting a wee bit chilly.
2 hours?
Nearly 2 hours. I mean, as I said earlier, I thought you were like a dead social person. Like you're always doing outdoorsy stuff. And is that accurate? Do you think you meet a lot of people?
No, not in the last year.
But normally before then?
Before, so I went on the apps.
I mean, I don't mean like romantically meeting people. I just mean like generally. Do you meet a lot of people?
Yeah, I think like, I kind of found myself like previously, I think maybe I got myself into
Do
a
you
rut or
enjoy
something.
meeting a lot of people?
I do, yeah. I like meeting new people. I like making new friends. Like, it's weird, like in your 30s, when you meet someone and you just get good vibes off them, like friend vibes, and it feels like almost harder than asking someone out on a date. It's like, oh, do you want to be my friend now? It's like, you know what I mean?
It's about Alan Partridge. Do you want to go for a pint?
Yeah. And it just feels a wee bit like, I don't know, but it's great being able to meet new people, and I just get to know different types. not Tories, but like,
No, they're no human though.
exactly. I am sociable, I would say, and I do get a lot of energy off of other people, I think. I'm a bit of a sponge.
Aye. I never really appreciated things like that you kind of get vigour from knowing people. And also, it's kind of a strange new realisation that people get stuff for you as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's something like some kind of self-defeat in me that kind of goes, well, doesn't really expect that other people like are enthusiastic about your company and stuff like that as well. It's good to bear that in mind every now and again.
Aye, like people aren't going to, like, apart from family, aren't going to invite you out of duty. It's because, like, you know, they like you. Like,
Aye. The amount of times that I asked Safi for like reassurance, it was pretty fucking pitiful.
are you in what is it, like your attachment style? Have you got a anxious attachment style? Is that it?
I'm not sure.
So you've got like, your love languages, where you've got like, which I think is a piece of nonsense, where it's like, oh, do you prefer like physical touch or gifts or acts of service, or I think one of them's like words of affirmation or something like that. So you've got these things that you kind of need, but then there's like attachment types, and I think you can be like a secure attachment or anxious attachment sort of thing. And, you know, ideally you'll have a relationship with a secure person and an anxious person, but as long as the secure person is like everything's good, you're fine, and gives you the
Right, okay. That might be the
gives you the
case.
reassurance that you need. But
I
think,
I would hope my anxiety's going to die down.
but it will
eventually.
do, just with good communication and being like,
Yeah.
just as long as, you know, Safi, you know, understands that, and because sometimes you can be, if you're a secure person, you might not be aware of someone's anxiety. You're like,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah,
fine. Why
yeah.
why would I need to say
Yeah.
that? But you might just need it a wee bit more, or just be like, oh, just give us a text in the morning.
She's very good at saying things.
Is she?
just says things.
Is she quite emotionally articulate?
Yes.
Oh my
very,
God.
very, I know.
Has she been in therapy?
She has, aye. Through the years.
I feel like I should try it.
Maybe important to try it, I suppose.
Mm.
I feel like I get the same thing from my meditation or for contemplation. So,
Yeah.
but then maybe they would be able to prompt things that you wouldn't find yourself.
Exactly.
Worth trying.
Aye.
But she does say that cheap ones are a waste of time.
Well, this is it. You know, I don't even have a gym member. People are like, oh, you pay for the gym? No, I don't. I just go for a run and jump in the water. It's like, that's all free. Don't even pay for a gym. Well, you'd pay to look after your body, wouldn't you? No.
Did myself.
To Joe Wicks on YouTube.
I've done a Joe Wicks actually. I don't know whether he was playing up, but he was knackered at the end, and I don't understand why. He's hardly doing anything.
He
Like,
does
was
that
just,
a lot.
does he?
Was it for the kids? Was it one of the kids ones?
I don't know. He was in his living room. No, I don't think it was kids.
The kids ones are hard. I did them like last year.
He was using a kettlebell. I don't think kids
Oh,
can use kettlebell.
maybe not. You can't give a kid a kettle. We wouldn't give a kid a kettlebell. I got mad. I think maybe did I have a breakdown last year? Probably.
You'll know it when it happens. I mean, I'm
Uh,
not saying it will happen. Some people it doesn't happen to.
But I was
I
extremely
think
anxious,
Right. Okay.
and I was
have you
like,
ever took meds or anything like that?
I've been on antidepressants before a few years ago, but never for like anxiety specifically.
That sounds like another area where it's kind of close to the conspiracy theory type stuff, but I think about antidepressants and I think about these alternative drugs that are illegal and how effective they are. I mean, they're starting to realise that now.
Oh,
about,
like LSD and depression and stuff.
Psilocybin and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But they are starting to research that, so that probably will be changing. But the last time I had a big slump, it coincided with me taking Prozac because something happened, there was some kind of disassociation where I was like, I couldn't recognise myself in the
Yeah.
mirror, like I didn't know what I was looking at.
Oh my
It
god.
was related to the Prozac. I was only on it for a short period of time. But
Fuck, that's scary.
it was terrifying.
I think that's what I was on.
Aye,
Yeah.
fluoxetine.
Fluoxetine, that's it.
For a while you were on it?
Like maybe 2 years again. Only down for 2 years. That's me.
They do that as well, the GPs, they keep you on it, and I think it's like a crisis measure. I think it should be like 6 months.
Well, I kind of went to them and I was like, oh, I think I'm ready to come off this. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we kind of forgot you. Yeah, that's fine. You can just come off them. I was like, all right. I kind of expected more a check-in. Like, they don't even have, I don't know. The mental health system in this country is pretty fucked.
When I was in the crisis centre, like they were good initially, like when they got me in, they sat me down for like a few hours and they were like taking me through everything, asked me loads of questions, which was beneficial later because it reminded me of all this stuff. But after they put me out, they don't have any money, so I was on a waiting list to go back to hospital for like 9 months.
Yeah.
And occasionally they would phone and say, you still want to stay on the waiting list? And eventually I just went, nah, you're fine.
Really?
I've sorted it out.
That's fucked. So what was it, if you don't mind me asking, like crisis centre? I mean, that sounds pretty dramatic.
Basically just gone, that's me done, I'm gonna do it.
Fuck, like Samaritans type thing.
And actually, because I'd no long moved to Dumbarton, so I didn't really know the GPs, but I had been into the GP and had like a offloading, and she said to me, if it gets bad, like, give us a phone, obviously, give us a phone straight away if it gets really bad. And I did phone them and she didn't take my fucking call.
What? Really?
She was too busy to take my fucking call, so I ended up just on hold for 20 minutes while the receptionist went around trying to get a GP to speak to me and naming them
hell.
words, and then I just came off the phone.
Holy shit.
Hopeless, just fucking hopeless.
That's...
But it's like they don't ask you anything about your life
No.
or like, what you're doing with yourself, they just go, are you sad? Here's a pill.
Well, this is it, and I think I probably could have benefited from like therapy, but I don't know. I do think that for me, the meds did help because
they
I
won't.
was so. I couldn't think straight. I was crying all the time. I just felt, I was really depressed. I felt, I couldn't get out of bed. Like, I think it'd been going on for a couple of years, but because I'd worked in a place that had a really bad HR system, and when I get back to, I would just take random days off just 'cause I couldn't get out of bed, and then I would go back in and they'd be like, I had a bit of a cold, and I'd be like, how many colds can one girl have? You know what I mean? And it's like, at least I always had like a runny nose and eyes because I was crying in the toilets all the time. But I think that like they didn't really follow up on anything, and they didn't really ask me what was going on. So I managed to get away with it and just be depressed and get paid for ages. And then I was working in a call centre, and it was horrible. It was just like so stressful all the time, and people are really horrible to you on the phones, and I just lost it. And then also I was getting bullied by a manager, and I was just like having anxiety attacks and stuff, and I was like, I need to get on drugs. And it gave me space, like we're talking about having space to react and think about things. So eventually when I stopped crying, I was able to think about, why am I sad, and sort of get out of the loops of sadness and do the work,
Well, that's
kind
hitting
of
the ball.
repair.
Not getting out of bed, not being able to get out of bed, that's the ball.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was really bad. Just crying all day. I mind at one point I was cat sitting for my friend, and that was great. Cats are good when you're depressed.
This dog that Saf's got is amazing. So smart and patient, and just a lovely wee animal.
Oh, that's nice.
I can't believe how quickly her and the cat get on as well. Like, I thought it'd be a war for a while. But
I'm glad you still got your
they
cat.
Aye, I know. He is a nuisance a lot of the time. He's still, but I mean, that's just how he is. He's an anxious boy.
Oh,
But he would have been-
we're all anxious boys at the end of the day. We're all anxious boys.
Are you not allowed a pet in your place?
Kate's the landlord. It's just Kate. That
Oh,
would-
right.
Yeah. I think she's iffy about it. She feels bad about if it had ever been an outdoor cat being just indoors, because we don't have a garden, obviously. And yeah, I think she sometimes she's up for having a cat. Sometimes if you get her the exact amount of drunk, she brings it up herself as a good idea. I'm like, so now I have to figure out what that sweet spot is. Just
Kate
maintain it.
looks a wee bit like a rescue cat type of woman.
I think she looks like a rescue
No, I
cat.
don't know a rescue cat, like a person who would own a rescue cat. A
I
good
think-
person, she looks like a good person. I don't know.
She is a good person. I think that's the thing. We need an older cat, just one that just kind of
How long have you known
grumps
Kate?
about. Probably about 10 years.
Has she ever lost it? She doesn't look like she's ever lost it.
Extremely calm. She probably has, with me and Johnny, drunk at a festival or something like that. We were very annoying.
Have you been to loads of festivals?
Yeah.
Never been to any.
Never been to any.
Never been to a single
Even
festival.
the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh no, I like comedy stuff, aye. But no music stuff. That's another thing, like Saf goes to see the art stuff at the Edinburgh Festival, and never really even considered. Just considered it a comedy thing.
Oh yeah. Well, there's good stuff at the International, but now they've got gigs. They've got down Leith Theatre down the road. They've been last festival. I seen This Is a Kit there, and Jarvis Cocker, and pretty sure seen some other people. But that's a good big venue down there.
When I was talking about this experimental stuff that we were watching, I mean, it was literally like a lassie. Do you know the Borg for Star Trek? It was a lassie done it like the Borg for Star Trek, with
Nice.
strobe lights going off and stuff, and
Sounds
some kind of
amazing.
electronic music / soundscape type thing. So there was a lot going on, but it was a lot of unexplainable stuff.
Let's have some edibles and walk into that in a big tent.
I really wish edibles would work on me, but I'll try heroin.
But festivals, would recommend. Green Man's a good one, and down in Wales, Brecon Beacons, lovely, big, kind of natural amphitheatre stage. You've got the mountain stage, and you've got the Black Mountains behind it. Oh, it's stunning, it's lovely.
Is there live events organised through that Lost Maps place that you work for?
Yeah, Richie's been up to Egg a couple of times for it, to the festival.
Is that the only one in Egg that they do?
Yeah. Egg's tiny,
No.
very small.
Is it got a bridge or do you get a ferry?
So Oh, it's got to get a ferry.
Yeah.
I think is there a bridge on the island? I was like, I think there's one. There's definitely one over the burn. Yes, no, it's tiny. There's only like 100 people there,
Alright,
so it's not like Skye. Yeah, you've got to get a ferry. So it's about an hour on the ferry. Oh my god! Last time we went out,
on the ferry? Really?
we got they not cancelled. They basically didn't have the CalMax over COVID because they didn't have any tourist traffic. But we were allowed to go over because we were invited by Johnny who lives on the island. So we got into like a sort of replacement boat. So instead of the big massive ferry, you had this what is normally used for like wildlife cruises.
Right,
So
okay.
normally it was whale spotting things. And it was amazing. The water was so still, and on the way out we saw like pods of dolphins, and I didn't see it, but there was a minke whale. But apparently, once they come up and then go down and hold their breath, they're down for like 18 minutes.
Alright, okay.
Pretty shy guys. That's an anxious boy.
Do you want to move because it's getting chilly?
Let's do it. You cold? Did you go on any like park walking dates in lockdown?
The one in Cannon Mills, we walked around for a while, but not many. Usually it's just coffees. But at SAF, all we did was walk about and talk, and continue to just walk about and talk.
Isn't that nice?
We were talking about the other day. We were talking about pride, me and Saf, and just trying to kind of figure out what pride is and whether it's all right to feel pride, and whether you would say something like, "I am proud of myself." Do you think you would say that you are proud of yourself?
Proud. I remember when I was doing my masters at Glasgow Uni, and I was really tired. I was like finishing my dissertation, and I was like stressed and nervous and just everything. I was extremely tired. Oh, girl. And I forced myself to go out and take a break, and I just went out and I looked at this big gate, and it had all these like men's names on it or whatever, just like carved in. I don't know if people had given money or whatever, or graduated from there or whatever. And I just felt like really emotional just thinking about like women in my family, like generations in the past, that they wouldn't have had the opportunity to like go to uni and study and stuff. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a bit proud of myself for that kind of thing. Or like maybe grateful is the word, because I didn't get here on my own, you know, like there's certain things where there's an element of socialism that's, you know, my family grew up in like council houses, and then that's led to them, and you know,
You got two parents. Your parents stay together. Aye.
Yeah. And the fact that they were able to go to uni and study and stuff like that. So just being kind of grateful for the conditions that I'm in, because that's all you can really. It's not all down to hard work, is it? Plenty of very capable people that just don't have the fortune that I've had. I'm not even all that fortunate compared to some other people who are extremely fortunate. What was your what do you think about pride? What was your
I think it can be. What I had been saying at the time was that I think why I have an aversion towards it is because I have memories of like, because I initially said that I'm like no proud of anything that I've done, no proud of like any of the work that I've done. It's never really been good enough. I've always found reasons to be highly critical.
as a perfectionist sort of way?
Worse than a perfectionist, but because, well, I suppose a perfectionist, but perfect doesn't exist. But I was initially saying that I'm not proud of anything, but then I had to think about it, and I said, well, I remember being proud of like Consulvania, like at the very start when we were like doing it in our bedrooms and stuff, and it go really. But I remember being proud of that, but I also remember how easily the pride's going folded into like arrogance, and a lot of other negative things became attached to the pride.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever really reached a conclusion about it. It feels like it should be a counter to like a deficiency in self-worth, that you can feel proud of yourself, but maybe I don't know. As usual, I don't know. That's why I'm talking to people, to try and find out, because I don't know.
But I think like for me, I guess pride would come from like having a completed project, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so seldom that I'm doing that these days.
But that's also
But, like-
another thing we're talking about is capitalism and how like that wheel never stops.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because well, when I started writing and doing stuff and writing little things, and people are like, oh, what are you going to do with it, blah blah blah, and I'm like, sometimes nothing. Just doing it is enough for me. What's enough for me? You know, I don't want to be going out showing people.
It's
on
the
my-
best
on
way
my
of
writing.
finding your most authentic stuff, though, is to do it like that.
I love the idea of like, these little CD guys.
She's talking about leaves.
We didn't just stumble upon something.
CD guys are leaves. They're no CD guys.
What are these actually called? The little leaf boys that sort of twirl around from the sky, well, from trees. That's what I mean. Woo, they're my fave. The idea of like artists who destroy stuff before anyone can see it, love that shit. Or even like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just not that well versed in art stuff, but like that Banksy print that sold and then got destroyed and everything like
Well,
that.
it never
and I'm
got
like,
destroyed.
Well,
I mean,
tried it, half destroyed it. I'm just like, okay, I like kind of playing with the idea of, when something's gone, it's gone. Or even like a live performance as well. Something about that if there's no recording of it, it just existed in the moment and now it's away, and that's fine. That's how I did a stand-up set started last year.
no? How'd it go?
It's good, I think. I got some laughs. I was so nervous.
An open mic
Yeah,
situation. How long?
5 minutes.
But it went good.
It was good. A pal took a recording of it. I just never want to see that again, and I kind of want it to get destroyed. And he was like, "No, it was actually all right. It was actually quite good." And I'm like, I don't know. Even if it was good, I don't know if I'm comfortable with it existing. I'd rather if it was like.
Was it just
Fun.
nerve-wracking then? That was just the overriding feeling of doing it?
I'm not a great public speaker. I was just really nervous. I don't have that much confidence. But once it was up there, it was good. And like my bits that I sort of like, the stuff that I'd written and went up and said, that was fine. But the bits where I kind of like ad-libbed more, they were probably more enjoyable, where I was
Right.
like, just kind of said some things and people were like, oh, okay. And it maybe was a bit like, felt less rehearsed as well. So maybe it was a bit natural. So somehow I was like, maybe I'll get into that. And then, so that was in January. And then February, I ended up being in the house fire.
What?
I was in a house fire.
2 hours into the conversation.
Not my house. So I was at a housewarming.
So you were awake and everything when the fire was...
Yeah.
We had a house fire when I woke up in the middle of the night when I was younger. Like the house was on fire.
Fuck.
Terrifying.
It's just the smoke. Like I didn't.
It was just like you couldn't see anything.
Like, I don't know if you remember much about it, but so basically we're in this party and then like somebody said something about there was a fire downstairs and we all tried to get out, and there's about 30 of us in the flat, but it was like a fire in the hallway downstairs, and we were just like blah blah blah, and it was a cold night, so so we were trying to get out. I got my jacket, and by the time you never stop and get your jacket and bag, you know that people tell you that shit, and then I did it anyway, whatever. And then the place just filled up with this like black smoke, and I swear to God, it sounds stupid, but I couldn't tell what was up and what was down. It was like so disorientating. And then people were like, "Oh, did you get to the floor and crawl across the floor?" And it's like, "No, I forgot all that shit. I forgot everything what people tell you to do." And it was like, I feel like quite in a good space now, though. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's very easy for me to feel like.
I mean, if you know what it's like to not be able to get out of your bed, then you must be able to appreciate all the things that you're doing now.
Exactly, yeah. Like, sometimes I'll be like, not feeling great, but I can recognise that's sadness rather than complete defeat sort of thing. So, I've just been, grateful for stuff. I'll cut out some family members that don't make me feel good, that kind of thing.
Another thing we were talking about was like negativity. You hear Americans going about this like, quite a lot, like cutting negativity out of your life. And it can sound quite cold, but it's also necessary sometimes.
Yeah, we sort of do like a cost-benefit analysis
Aye.
just to bring the capitalism to your personal relationships. But yeah, I kind of realised that there's certain family members where the energy that was put into the relationship, like I wasn't getting anything back, or worse, which is fine because that's not what love is about. But it was making me feel worse, and we just had to cut that off. And I swear to God, just massive weight off my back.
Aye, sometimes it feels like when people earn their living right, they can be vampires.
Yeah. So I just don't need that. It's not
It'd be
even
good if you could help everybody, but like,
Nah.
as we've said before, it's like you can't force people to hear things. You need to let people find stuff out for themselves.
Exactly. And maybe in a couple of years they'll come back into my life or whatever, and like I'll maybe never get an apology, but if I can be around them, that's fine. But they maybe even don't know, haven't noticed. It wasn't like I was like that I had a big blowout with them or anything. It was just I just stopped making contact and
Things are always changing. People are always changing. So.
never know.
Thanks for coming, Laura.
Oh, thanks.
Although you only really walked about 2 minutes away from your flat.
It was very low effort for me, but highly enjoyable.
I can remember when I was at Richie's flat do thing, because no everybody, like when you're like low, no everybody reacts in the same way, and I definitely have experienced some people who like put distance when I was like low, but you weren't like that. You were like good and nice. So if you do feel low, just remember that you're actually a good person.
Oh, can't say that. Oh man, I'm gonna cry now. That's
Can I
nice.
film it? So we could monetize it. We could sell it as an NFT.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm really chuffed for you in Zaf. I hope that you get to have some fun adventures to camp and go to a festival maybe or whatever.
I'm running out of doubts. I'm running out of doubts. I was going to ask you about doubts as well.
Doubts.
Next time, we'll ask you next time. Aye, I'm running out.
Bit of doubts.
I'm meeting her sister next week. That,
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't invite somebody to meet your sister if you didn't think they were all right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly. Yeah, because if I was in any way like not sure about somebody, I wouldn't be inviting them to meet the family.
Aye, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you just need that external affirmation for a while.
It's
and
just
eventually
like-
you'll be able to reassure yourself.
Aye, because she was coming out of like a long-term thing, she was saying things like, like she wasn't wanting to like merge with somebody. She was wanting to like move forward together, sort of thing. Which,
Alongside.
which makes sense, makes total sense. But It does.
That's healthy though.
aye, it's healthy and mature. But love is love, and
Yeah.
that just sometimes feels like it has to be kind of like a disorganised mess.
Yep.
But I would definitely wouldn't use that word in front of her because it's only been a month.
Oh, you forgot, of course. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny when you feel it and you're like, I need to do everything in my power to not say this word. It's
aye.
like,
Like when we're ending phone conversations and stuff, it's like there's a gap and it feels as if there is a gap, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
such a nice feeling. That weird, horrible anxiety.
Uh-huh.
What a great feeling.
It's so strange. At this time of life, it's so strange to feel it again.
Yeah.
Because it's like new, but also familiar as well. So it's just weird. It's weird. I mean, it's good being single and doing the stuff, getting that kind of meaning. But this is also good.
Nice.
That is nice. Nice. That is nice. Right, take it easy. Have a good one. Say hello to your flatmate for me.
Will do.
Catch me on Instagram and stuff. Have you got any plans to meet Richie or anything at any point?
No, I've not really been making that many plans. I should probably message him and see.
Is he planning on having a flat warming at any time? Has he ever mentioned anything like that?
I guess it depends when that's allowed.
Would you want to go to a flat warming?
After the fire?
No, I mean like COVID wise.